Welcome everyone to the Gaming Bounty Board podcast. It's been 2 years since the last episode, which I believe was with the Bears in Space dev. So that tells you anything. It's been a minute. So here we are once again, Matt from Hidden Machine. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And he's been on. How many times have you been on? Twice or just once?
I think once with you, and then once we did quad damage together.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you were on the quad damage one. I think that makes. Yeah. So how you been?
I've been good. Very, very busy lately. Not as much stuff on the channel. But earlier, well, no, I guess I should say last year, I got a small grant to kickstart development on a game I'm working on. And so the last few months, I've been working with a small team and just spending a lot of time trying to make a game.
Yeah. I saw that, and I saw you did a video talking about it, I believe, right? Kind of like a channel update sort of thing or something.
Yeah.
I saw that, and yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people have been kind of getting into doing stuff with making games, and I think I don't know. Do you know Show?
I don't think so.
No, he's kind of in like the boom shoot space a little bit, and he's
Okay.
working on his own game. I think he's doing it in Unity maybe. And I started working on actually trying to make a game on Easy FPS Editor, which is like what DOS Man.
It's
And a
so
bunch
much
of
fun.
others. Yeah, and it's really cool so far. I mean, it's probably one of the easier like editor engines, but it's still a challenge. I'm still trying to figure out all this stuff, and maybe once I get something out on there, I'll move on to something else. It's just kind of like baby steps.
Totally. I was, before this particular project, I was messing around making just making like maps in
Yeah.
Easy FPS Editor, and just like it's so much fun. And I love how quickly you can like just mock up an idea. If you got like a basic
yeah.
idea for something, you can just like get it right going and then be playing it immediately.
Yeah, you could just like literally map it out. Basically, hit one button, boom, you're in there and you're playing it. I think one of the fun challenges for me has been figuring out how to. It's just figuring out like when you're doing the sprite, like the animations and like attacks and deaths and all those things. They're very interesting, very different. But it's fun. It's fun. It's cool. I'm having a good time with that. I hope to eventually get a game. I want to try to work on some more of that this year. What kind of game is it that you were making? Oh, I forgot.
It's a point and click adventure game.
Okay, yes, that's right. That's right.
Kind of like in a very kind of traditional style. It's all like pre-rendered backgrounds with like 3D characters, but they're rendered out as like 2D sprites.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty awesome though. That's going way back.
Yeah.
Is it simpler or more complicated, do you
think? This is intentionally simpler, so it's like like the gameplay itself is more simple, but I'm trying to like use that as a way to allow myself to like explore story deeper and just add more content to the game. But it's like it's all fixed camera. It's like pretty bare bones in a lot of ways, but I'm trying to like throw in as many little tricks as possible to make it feel like a bigger thing than it really is.
Okay, so how was 2025 for you on the game front? Did you get to play a lot of games? You've been working on a lot of different things in the last year. So how much game time did you get?
Not as much as I would have liked, honestly. I've picked up so many games that I just haven't been able to touch it all. But I was just watching recently like your 2025 kind of top games video.
Yeah.
And a lot of those were games that I played and had a great time with.
Yeah.
Trying to remember exactly what. Oh, Iron Meat.
Mm-hmm.
That was one I was like waiting for a long time. I loved the first demo I played, and it's just like I've played through that so many times. That's such a blast. I'm struggling to remember the video because as soon as I finished your video, I started making my own little list of like what I actually There was like so much
there's about
crossover.
15 games. I
Yeah.
make a light reference towards Iron Meat since it was a game from last year, but I did play it for the first time this year. Um, because I ended up getting a code for it actually, so I'm working on a video on it right now. That game is so much fun. Like it's just an overall really fun game. Neon Inferno is another one that I had on that list.
Yes. So
That
good.
there was like
I
I
was
think
waiting for that one as well for a while.
yeah, yeah. So that one kind of like here's a fun little story with Neon Inferno is I had was it yeah it was retroware. So I had signed up to be able to get a code for the Toxic Crusaders beat 'em up game that's coming out. It was supposed to come out in October or something, then it was delayed to December. Now it's been delayed to sometime early this year. Um, and it looks like it. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks like like a Shredder's Revenge or even Cosmic Invasion, a game that I had in my top 5 on that
That
list.
was also a really good one I played
Oh,
last
so
year.
good, so good. I've been playing it a lot with my son, and he loves it. Man. Freaking loves it. Uh, I can't. The main villain or whatever is like a nihilist or something like that. So he'll like run up to me and he's like, "We got to go get a nihilist right now. We got to go get him."
That's great.
It's so much fun. But yeah, so the Toxic Crusaders, I signed up for like to be part of their mailing list or something like that. It was through their website. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sign up for this. There's no way I'm even probably no way I'm getting a code for this. So then I got like a couple emails from them. I got like the confirmation that you're now on the mailing list, and I was like, okay, what does that mean? You know what I mean? I had no idea what that meant really. And so then I get an email that says like something about Neon Inferno. I vaguely remembered trailer at some point being shown somewhere for this game. The
Hmm.
name kind of rang a bell. Oh, okay. And then below it said, respond to this email if you'd like a code or oh, okay. Yeah, I do. What do you mean? Yeah, I would love a code. So I ended up doing that. And this was after because they had sent me the ability to get a code for the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit game
Yeah, yeah.
prior to this, which was how I knew that they were now going to send me codes.
Mhm.
And then out of nowhere, after I accepted that code, I just got the Neon Inferno thing. What? So I accepted that, and I'm working on an Angry Video Game Nerd video. Well, I uh, I really hate it, but I started liking it again. Like I started liking it like a few days ago. I was playing it some more, and I think the reason I hated it so much when I first started playing it was because my mindset wasn't in the right place to play a game like that until I
Hmm.
started playing Neon Inferno and then Iron Meat, which are these games that are of a similar ilk and of a similar time. Because I don't regularly play a lot of like run and gun 2D games. I don't play a lot of like NES inspired 2D games like on a regular basis. Um, so I started playing it the other day. Now that I've played like I've almost beat Iron Meat, I've beaten Neon Inferno, and I'm okay. It's actually kind of clicking now. It's very Mega Man like, and I've never been a big Mega Man fan, so
Hmm.
it's just nothing was clicking very well for me. And it's one of those games. It's purposely designed to be very much of the time, like purposely meant to be of the
Right.
time. So it's like it's a game made for a very niche audience. It's made for people who really want a like somewhat punishingly difficult NES inspired game and also are fans of video game nerds. So I have no feelings, for or against Angry Video Game Nerd. I've seen his stuff. I think some of it's pretty enjoyable. I think some of it's pretty cringe and just like annoying. Um so I go both ways with it, and that game has one of the most like kind of entertaining but also absolutely cringe inducing intros to any video game that I've ever experienced in my life.
I believe it. I haven't played it yet. Um, I intend to because I've been watching Angry Video Game Nerd since the start. Like I feel like it was even before YouTube. I was watching him on some
Yeah.
other site. Um, even before I think it was before Screw Attack even. But
Yeah.
uh, it a lot of it is super cringe. There's
Oh
no
yeah.
denying that it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Sometimes like I put it on and like my wife will be around and I kind of feel like, oh, she understands, but
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
always
pay
like,
attention
oh,
to
I just I have to
this.
watch this because I've been watching it for 20 years.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have to keep going with it.
hmm Yeah, so I started to come around on the game, and so I think when I get the video out eventually, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be an interesting video because it's gonna be a bit more on the negative side than what I typically make, and it's been something of a challenge of mine that I mean I'm largely positive in my videos because I'm talking about things I enjoy, and that's kind of the whole point. I'm not gonna be talking like negatively about something I really enjoy, but since I'm branching out to getting like codes for games, actually reviewing these things for developers and publishers, like, okay, I kind of need to be a bit more critical. Need to actually, I need
Mhm.
to look at it from the perspective of maybe this is something I'm really going to enjoy, maybe it's not, and then I need to look at things that people are going to want to know. How's the difficulty? How's the accessibility and the scaling and blah blah blah. For instance, with Angry Video Game Nerd, I think one of the things that I just despise is that you pick up these like weapon upgrades that make your like weapon power bar go up. John, this might be a very Mega Man thing. Like I have very little experience with Mega Man, and my little experience was not very great. So, um, but once you get hit, you lose like a quarter of one bar of the weapon power, as well as some of your health. And you
Hmm.
can go back and pick it up and get it back, but it disappears really quickly. But enemies also respawn. So you get hit, you lose the quarter, you try to go back and get the quarter, and the enemy that just hit you is respawning. And so it's very anger inducing.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing that the nerd would be complaining about
Yes,
in one of his
yeah,
videos.
yeah. I think he purposely made it like purposely made it something that is going to make you angry. I think that's was the whole. I think that's the whole point. I think it's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
And he there's a lot of reference to a lot of the worst games he's ever played and the games he's hated the most in the game. There's even a
Yeah.
giant ET reference and some bosses that are references to other things. Not only games he's covered, but also like his own like skits and stuff from his. So it is pretty cool, and I think the art style is good. The music is good. It feels pretty good to play. I just think I wasn't in the right headspace, so I got just super negative because I was like, okay, and there was also the stress of like I was trying to make videos for so many different things because I've gotten like a stupid amount of games to review. It became a problem. I'm like, no, I need to
I
stop,
I
stop,
know.
stop. And
It's hard to say no sometimes.
yeah,
I kind of like at by the end of last year I was like, "Hey, I got to just like take a break from like accepting any keys or like reviewing anything and just kind of like reset a little bit because I was like I don't like rushing on that kind of stuff
yeah,
because I want it to be like a I don't know, I care, I guess. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess I just care. No, but like, I just don't want to like shit something out that I think sucks.
right.
But it's like, yeah, it's the thing that when I first I got a review key for Alan Wake 2, which I was like super grateful for.
That's crazy, man.
It was I was like, wow, this is nuts. And
I actually didn't even know that you had got a review key.
I felt very, very lucky. But it was really stressful to try to get the like because I wanted the review to be out like on the day that the embargo lifted and get it out right on time because it's like, well, people are, it's like if you're
Yeah.
gonna do it, you might as well.
What did you
Um,
get? Like a week or a month?
I think it was like 9 days.
Yeah, see that's what I can't stand.
It
You
was nine
know?
days, and the game was super broken.
Yeah.
Like there was like a big back and forth with like the person who was like kind of handling the go between the developers
Yeah.
and the content creators and stuff, and they had to like send us new save files to try to like get past a certain bug, and I didn't know it was bugged, so like there was like 2 hours where I'm just going around the areas like being like, what did I miss? I don't understand how to go through.
Yeah.
And I just saw this like possible future where I was like, man, if I want to like review like like bigger releases, I don't think I can handle like that super tight window. Like I like when someone gives you like a couple weeks,
Yeah.
a month, like check it out and be casual about it. I like it's
Yeah. The first like code that I ever got was for Live and Wrench, a 3D
okay.
platformer, and about 2 years ago now that it came out, I think, and or something. Yeah, something like I think we got 2 years, maybe a little bit longer. But that was my first ever code, and I had like a month to play the game. I got it like a month in. I mean, I 100% of the game. I went through it like multiple times. I told them about all these bugs and like there was clipping issues and there were I actually found a way to beat the final boss by jumping out of the arena, just like spamming him and he couldn't hit
Yeah.
you at all. And I made sure they knew about all this stuff and all these things. And they fixed a lot of stuff by the time it hit full release. And I remember so and it was a fairly positive video. But even in the video, I provided visual examples. I followed all the rules to a T. I provided
Mhm.
visual examples of every issue that I encountered personally in the game without spoiling anything. And showed as much variety as I could and all these things. And I remember there's a few comments if you go on that video of people like, you're way too positive on this game. You need to make sure that the developer, you're just basically giving them false hope or something. I don't know. Like they were just saying things like that. Like, you know, you need to be, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, guys, I was like, I said at the very beginning of this video, like, I don't know if you watched the video or not. It was a fairly short video. It was like a 7 minute, 8 minute long video or something like that. Like at the very beginning of the video, I tell you that I'm fairly biased towards 3D platformers. I'm biased towards getting something for free, okay? Especially the first time I ever received something for free in my whole life when it comes, okay? I'm going to be extremely biased. And it's a 3D platformer that I personally planned on buying. And I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to play it around that time because I didn't quite have the money. And then I get it for free. Yeah, I'm going to be a little biased. There's only so much I can hold back in that regard. But even given that, I was like, look, we make it to this point in the video, and I'm like, hey, I've been pretty positive or whatever, but like there were some issues, and I'm like, look, I would jump on boxes and I would clip through and I would get stuck in them and I couldn't move. I have to reload the save. Now every issue I had in the game would fix with a reload. Um, so me as I don't know, an old school gamer,
Right.
those are non-issues. Like that is a non-issue in my
I
opinion.
think that's important to like, for people to understand that like reviewers have different standards for those kinds of things, like how much that kind of like just kind of jank that happens in a game sometimes is
Yeah,
a deal breaker or not.
yeah, and I think nowadays that everybody's a critic. Everybody's a critic these
Mhm.
days. So in this day and age, with everybody's a critic, I feel like people are too hard on bugs. I think people are way too hard on bugs.
Yeah, I mean, especially on like a lot of indie games where it's like if you find a bug, you can usually directly contact the developer and they'll be like, "Oh, thank you." And
Yeah,
and there's been so many games where I've had an issue and then a patch comes out like that same day because they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
you brought that to our attention, thank you," and they're on it. It's like it's not the same as
yeah,
like some of these bigger studios where you could never ever ever get in touch with anyone, or there's just like once the game is out, there's no more funding, so there's no devs to
yeah,
even work on bugs.
yeah, for sure. And I don't find that many like game breaking bugs when it comes to big AAA games. I mean, there are some here and there, but I haven't played many where there's just like these fundamentally broken games. I haven't played very many AAA that are like that. Usually in a AAA game, the most I experienced is like I was playing the Division 2 one time and I was like
Mhm.
killing enemies and one of the enemies just fell through the stairs and clipped to the ground so I couldn't kill them anymore. So I had to reload the mission, do the mission over again, and then it didn't happen. Or playing Red Dead Redemption, a huge open world game where I was just taken off with a horse and I just fall through the map. You know what I mean? Like those kind of
It
things just
happens.
happen with big games.
Yeah.
They're not.
Um, you mentioned 3D platformers. Did you play a game called Cavern of Dreams?
No.
It's kind of a smaller game, but that's one of the games I played last year that I really liked. It's like it's in the style of like a classic Nintendo, like like Mario 64 or Banjo Kazooie or something, like a Nintendo 64 kind of platformer.
Yeah,
But it's
I saw a trailer for it before. at one of those indie showcases or something. Yeah.
I wound up picking up for like a couple bucks on a sale, and if you like those kind of like, especially like the old, like the Nintendo 64 era, kind of
Oh
the
yeah.
earlier ones,
Huge
I think
banjo
it's a
guy here.
really
So
solid one in that style. It's
I
big
yeah.
recommendation.
Yeah, it looks good. I was looking at it just now. I really got into what was it, like Super Kiwi 64,
Mm,
stuff like that. I
this
still want to
is,
play Corn Kids 64, which looks great.
I would say, Cavern of Dreams is right up there with those other two.
It's awesome.
Corn Kids is really good. It's a lot more complicated than some of the other ones, just in terms of like, I don't know, like there was like more little like puzzles to solve and like little like unique things that like I
Right.
was like, some of these games you can play and like you're just on autopilot, you're just going
Yeah,
through the
yeah, yeah.
levels, it's like super simple. Corn Kids is a little more advanced, which I appreciate because like, I sometimes I like a game that I kind of just like zone out with, but it's nice when a old school platform can kind of challenge you in an unexpected way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of indie 3D platformers getting more and more. Like what is there was one I was actually trying to get a code through Keymailer. It was Ruffy, or is it Ruffy? Yeah, Ruffy on the
Oh
Riverside.
yeah.
That one looks
Yeah.
so cool. It
It
has that like
rules.
2.5D kind of vibe going on. Um,
Yeah.
it looks so cool.
I've only played through the demo, but I was like super 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 impressed with everything. It has like this mechanic where like you like color in stuff in the game world and it changes the
Okay,
environment. So you're kind of like altering and building the levels as you go.
okay, cool.
But then,
Yeah, that's
also
definitely
just
one I
like the
want to check out.
controls, super smooth controls, like that's like the deal breaker for me is like it should be fun just to run around in those
Yeah,
kinds of games. They nail
yeah,
that.
that was something when I covered Clive and Wrench. Something else that people said that a lot of people, and I talked to the developer, in a gaming bounding board episode, and one of the things that he heard, and I also heard a lot, was that the platforming was floaty, but like
Hmm.
you could take off running and do like these double, triple jump things and like land on platforms very precisely. And it was just very fluid. And I never understood the sentiment. I never understood like why people were like, oh, it's just so floaty. And I mean, I don't know if it was because of the movement, because like the movement's like ultra precise. I mean, like every light movement, you're kind of like moving. So and I don't know if it was like people like misjudging how they were jumping or whatever it was. But to me, it felt really good to and you could really get some momentum and like, go from platform to platform to platform. Some crazy moves because it's one of those games where you have all the abilities that you have all of
Oh,
the
cool.
all the combos and things right from the start. And I think that really changes how a lot of games, like especially 3D platformers, can be played. And it also does something that I love, which allows you to 100% the game from the freaking beginning. Like
Yeah.
I like to be able to 100% every level as I go through the game versus having to
I'm the
like
same
beat the
way.
game and get the last ability at the end and have to go and replay the levels. I'm like, oh, that's something I didn't like with Banjo Tooie or like Spyro 2 or Spyro 3. I loved Spyro 1 and I loved Banjo Kazooie where I could just get everything the first time through pretty much. I think there's only
Yeah.
like a couple scenarios in like Banjo Kazooie where you have to go back. One or two.
Did you play Slime 64?
I did. Yes.
They have like a really long demo, and if
Yes.
the game's not out yet, but the demo, like it was like an hour that I could like there's
Yep.
like secret levels in it and stuff. I'm really looking forward to that game. That was like one of the most tight platformers I played in a long time in that
Yeah.
style.
Oh, it felt really good to play, and I liked how like it was like the different slimes and the different levels. They all kind of played differently and had a different theme and feel and everything. There's actually, I mean, as of right now, as far as I'm aware, I still am going to actually be a cameo in that.
Sick.
Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
should be interesting.
I'm trying to think of other stuff I played last year that was good. Did you play Heartworm?
No,
It's like a
what
survival
is Heartworm?
horror. It's like
Oh,
it's survival
I feel like
horror,
I've
but
heard of
like
it.
you use a camera. I don't know. It's definitely like like a tribute to a lot of games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil
Yes.
1 and 2 or whatever. But That was a really strong one for me. I also played a lot of Ball Pit,
Ball Pit.
which is kind of just like a
I actually
roguelite
bought that for my
breakout.
brother for Christmas, and I would say it looked like breakout roguelike kind of thing, and I've come pretty close to getting it myself.
Yeah, I wound up getting it. So most of the gaming I did over the year was like on Steam Deck,
Yeah,
just kind of playing at night or like playing while traveling or whatever. And like that game, I wound up 100%ing because I was just like so. I got so I got so hooked on that. It was like Balatro like 2 years ago, and then like Ball Pit this year were like the games where I was like
yeah.
super obsessed. And for like the last like 2 months, the only game I've had time to play is I played Brotato a lot, which is
Mm,
just like it's just super
yeah.
simple like Vampire
Is it a
Survivors kind of
roguelike?
game, but
Is it a roguelike? Because I know
yeah,
it's a twin stick shooter. I wasn't sure if it was a roguelike, but I've seen. Well, Brotato's been out for a while, right? Like it's been out for a long
it's
time.
it's been out for a long time. There's like a bunch of like DLC and like mods and
Okay.
stuff. Like the community like keeps it going, it seems. But
I feel like it made a bit of a comeback this last year, or something.
I don't know why. I like it. I always kind of was like, maybe I'll play it someday, maybe I won't. But I've had it for a long time, and finally I was just like, I was looking for something simple to play on Steam Deck because like I don't really like to play like longer like narrative games or
Yeah.
like full 3D games. Like sometimes it's just like a little bit difficult to focus on them on a smaller screen. But I've been hooked on that. It's a pretty basic twin stick shooter in a lot of ways, but you have to use like really specific builds and like all of your like every choice you make in terms of like the items, power ups, modifiers you get. It's like you have to really think about the synergy between everything because if you have like a bad
Okay.
build, like you just can't last. It's a lot more advanced. Like I couldn't do anything in the game for the longest time. I was just like dying, 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 dying until I finally was like, oh, I can't just screw around,
Right.
basically.
Right. Right. Right.
But
Yeah, I
that's
saw it
been a
like
big game for
pop
me.
up on Steam. I saw it pop up on I think Xbox or something. And I saw it pop up on my phone. Like I was on the Google Play Store and Potato. And oh, I didn't even know this was
It'd
on
be a
phone.
good mobile game.
Oh yeah.
The other one from last year that really sticks out for me is a game called The Drifter, which is like a point and click adventure game, like kind of like in the like old school like Monkey Island style or something.
Yeah, I saw that. Let me refresh my memory real quick. But yeah, no, I saw the Drifter. I think this was one that I put on my wish list. Um,
I
yes,
was
yes, it was on there.
so impressed by it. Like
Yeah,
the
it was good.
writing and the voice acting, it's like the story's crazy. It's like an action movie kind of thriller kind of thing and
Okay. Yeah, it's got
really
that
good
like
puzzles.
pixel art kind of style to it.
Yeah. Um just a super impressive game and like the developer has a tool they made for I think it's a Unity tool, but it's like they have like the game is made in its own kind of like sub engine called
Okay.
Power Adventure, I believe.
Okay.
And so like people can use his tool to make their own like similar kind of adventure games if they're into that kind of thing. And like
Huh. Okay.
it's cool to see someone kind of like paying it forward in that way to like make a cool
Yeah.
game, but then like give people tools to make their own cool
Hmm.
games.
Yeah, for sure. It's always something that I love. Yeah, just giving people the tools to make things. Talking about making our own games and stuff, and some of the things that I really loved was making maps back in Halo Reach, or making races and maps and stuff in like GTA Online, and just crazy
Totally.
stuff like that. Just make my own map. Super Mario Maker, freaking love that game.
I never got to try it. It looks so cool.
It was so much fun, man. Like me and my brother, would we both had it and we would play it. And we'd like play each other's levels, and then you could download other people's levels. Because it was on 3DS originally. I think they
That's
re-released
so
it or something.
sick.
Yeah, and you could like download other people's levels. It was the same thing as for instance, I dabbled lightly in Doom 2016's map maker thing because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
multiplayer had a map maker in that as well. I didn't mess with it too much, but I did a little bit, and it was pretty freaking cool actually. I don't think that 2016's Halo like multiplayer or its map editor get that much credit because it was actually a very old school deathmatch style thing, and it was a lot of fun. I freaking played the hell out of it. I actually almost like max prestiged or whatever it was in that game. It was crazy.
I was like I played through the campaign a bunch on like all the difficulty levels, but
Yeah,
I suck at the multiplayer.
yeah. I mean, it was challenging, but I got pretty. I mean, I played it like religiously. I played the multiplayer like crazy for a long time. I got really good at it, but Yeah, I don't think it ever got as much credit just because it was very Halo like. Really, Doom does it. Doom's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so we're talking about all these different things. Last year, I feel like last year, man, 2025 was a freaking year for video games. Not just indies, double A, triple A. It was just a freaking year, and actually a pretty solid game of game awards. Like
Yeah.
I feel like last year's was kind of like and like it's been kind of but this year was like really good. A lot of good reveals and all these things. And I feel like last year was such a weird year because Indiana Jones should have won Game of the Year, and it just barely didn't get there. So then we had Astrobot win Game of the Year, which don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything against Astrobot. It's a really cool looking 3D platformer that pays homage to everything PlayStation's ever made. But I just don't think that it's quite Game of the Year type quality. My personal opinion, I think that was definitely Indiana Jones in 2020.
Indiana Jones was
So,
so cool. And I just
yeah.
saw that Machine Games is confirmed they're doing the next Wolfenstein right now.
Yep. I
So
saw that a couple days ago, yeah. And so I'm really excited
so
about that because, I mean, they did great with Wolfenstein. I don't care. People have some varying opinions on that series, but
yeah, the only thing I didn't care for, I played through all of Youngblood, but I don't even think that was really them. I think it was like another studio and they just kind of helped finish it off.
it was a group of people from Machine Games and a group of people from
Arcane,
Arcane
right?
Leon.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit of both working on it, like a little side thing, and somehow they both screwed it up. I don't really know.
Like I liked parts of it a lot, but it was too
Yeah.
repetitive. It just felt like it wasn't.
Well, it was
It
like
didn't live up. The other games are so good. You know,
it
it's
was like
like
a co-op looter shooter
right.
FPS game with like boss fights with boss fight bars and like just like but then it had like these
And like a
open-ish
full
segments.
story too.
Yeah, it was just so
Yeah.
weird. I mean, it was a cool idea. I thought like the narrative stuff they were doing was cool and the whole sisters thing was cool. The co-op aspect would have been great. But it's just and then like if you're playing by yourself, it just didn't work very well.
No, and like
And
it
the
was you
balancing was
even the
off.
boss fights, you had to do this it was the same boss fight 3 times in a row. Like it was just like
They were so spongy, like stupid
yeah.
spongy. And not even a good kind of spongy like you're playing Borderlands or something. At least Borderlands knows how to do it right. But they just I don't know what they were doing with that game, man. It's kind of like Rage 2. Like
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
Rage 2 is one of those games I still haven't covered it on the channel because I was afraid of being too negative. Because I've never loved and hated a game so much. I love Rage 1. I know a lot of people just like love to talk the biggest shit about it and they're like it's just like id's wannabe Borderlands. I'm like, there's so
I
much
think it's a
more
lot of
to
fun.
Rage. There's so much more to Rage than just like a rip off Borderlands. Like so much more. Well, it's not even a looter shooter for one.
No, I was
It's a
like I can see the
semi-open
influence, but
world.
it's
Like
it's more like Mad Max or
yeah,
something to
yeah.
me. It's
It's
like
like a
they're all
first
it's just this
person
desert
Mad Max.
post-apocalyptic thing. Yeah.
I
Super
get like
I like that game.
it has a like a little bit of like this cell shaded kind of vibe to it, which I guess people kind of connected with Borderlands. But it's way more this Mad Max, and and technically I saw it as like this continuation of what they were doing with like Doom 3 because it was just kind of pushing that same tech. And really, Rage was like the last. It was the last Carmack game. It was the last game that Carmack was involved with id, and it was the last id game that I think felt like an id game because don't get me wrong, 2016 is amazing and blah blah, but they're all great, and id still makes good games to this day. But nothing feels like an id game after Rage. Rage is like the most. It's like the final id thing. It felt like all their games kind of felt like they were pushing some form of tech. And I think what was it? Rage was pushing. What was it? The ultra textures or whatever, like the ultra 4D texture or
Oh,
something,
yeah, I
texture
don't know
mapping,
if there's a specific name for it.
mega textures or something like that. It was like a weird thing where they had, but like because the game itself, look, it's so visually unique though. There's no game before it or after it that looks like Rage. I mean, outside of
Yeah.
the cell shading, there's no other game that looks like that. And it has this weird, like, ages relatively well kind of feel to it. And, like, if you look at anything from a distance, it just looks really good. I think the tech, like the mega textures, had a lot to do with the skybox and like the way things looked from a distance. They were just higher res, bigger textures, so they looked less like blurry blobs at a distance, and they looked more detailed. And I think that provides a lot of character for Rage, the game that no matter where you look, it just looks really kind of pristine. Like it pops, everything pops out at you.
Totally, yeah.
Um, and also I feel like the movement in that game, movement in Rage One, like it's kind of like the almost head bobbing like feel. It's almost kind of it's close to the way like Wolfenstein feels now, in a way where it's kind of
Mhm.
like there's a camera on their head, kind of way in a way. You
Totally,
know,
yeah.
that's what Starbreeze was pretty well known for that, making 3D characters and then like forcing them into first person with the darkness and
Right.
Riddick and all that. And of course, a lot of those same people are the ones doing Indiana Jones and
A machine.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah, which that was another thing with Indiana Jones. Man, when I saw the trailer for that, and then I saw third person cutscenes, third person animations, but also first person with a focus on melee, I was like, dude, it's like the return of Riddick right here. That game
Totally.
is so Riddick, it's insane. And there's so many
Yeah.
people out there who probably don't make that connection, but
I
it's a
know it feels like a
very
secret like sequel to it.
it really does. It really does. Everything about it too. It's like the as soon as you're able to like run around and disguise yourself and do these little side missions that connect to the main objective, it reminded me of like Butcher Bay when you're in the prison and you're doing these little, you're like setting this one dude up and poisoning him to get on this guy's good side, or like the other,
Totally.
you do like the fist fights and the brawls to get into the other area and stuff like that. It just reminded me a lot of that game. And overall, Indiana Jones, like I said, that was 2024's game of the year. I don't care what anybody says. That was game. Astrobot, no, no.
What won Game of the Year at Game Awards this was it Expedition 33 this year? Or last year?
Yeah, it
Whenever?
was Expedition 33 2025. Yeah, that was game of the year.
I I get it. I liked that game a lot. I thought it was a really good RPG. Like I don't like it's hard for me to say for sure like is that the
Well, I
best game I
forget
played all that
what were the
year, but
contenders like. I forget what the contenders were for game of the year. I've completely forgot all of its competition. I think
I have
Donkey
no
Kong
idea.
Bonanza was one of them, right?
I didn't get to play that. That looked really dope, but I didn't get to play it. I don't have a
Yeah, I
Switch,
don't have
but
a
I feel
Switch
like I've
too, so I can't play it.
I missed out on like so
Yeah,
much Nintendo
right.
stuff.
Dude, well, it's just Nintendo's been so weird lately anyway. Um okay, so it was Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Death Stranding 2, and Hades 2, and Donkey Kong Bonanza were all the competition. And I feel like that was pretty good competition. Like overall 2025 was a stacked year in my opinion. Like it's a year where we got Hades 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Expedition 33, Silk Song, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Death Stranding 2, Dying Light the Beast, and Atom Fall, The Outer Worlds 2.
Fall was so good.
It is, dude.
I
So
I
good.
know you liked Fall. I saw you posting about it and stuff. It's like, man, I it felt so cool that it was like it was a very small game in a lot of
Hmm.
ways, but it had so much depth to
Yeah.
it still. Like there was
Yeah,
so
it
many
was
ways you
like
could approach it.
yeah, it's like as wide as a way it goes, It's as deep
Yes,
as an ocean, but it's as wide as a puddle or whatever, however that goes.
totally. It's like I was so impressed with that game. And like so cool to see that studio do something like that. Cause like, like I haven't seen them take on something so ambitious before.
No, no, not a
Cause
long
like,
time.
don't they do like the Sniper Elite games and stuff?
Yes, yeah, Rebellion does Sniper
Yeah.
Elite. So yeah, so you said you watched my video,
Oh,
right?
and
So
yeah, and they did they did they did the Dick Marcinko game. They did Rogue Warrior, I think, as
yep,
well, which I
yep.
really like, which is
They did
like,
Rogue Warrior. They also did Rogue Trooper uh video game. Rogue Trooper. I think it's Rogue
mhm,
Trooper. And they did AVP 2000. They made
mm,
the AVP Jaguar game in 94.
mhm.
They made AVP 2010, and they made the Judge Dredd versus Death game.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yep. So 2010 was the last time that they made a first person video game. everything that they've made since AVP 2010 has pretty much been Sniper Elite, or they've done like these like little side projects like Zombie Army, Strange Brigade,
Right.
and a couple other little like
Oh,
puzzle game
wow.
things and stuff. Yeah,
That Zombie Army game was a lot of fun.
yeah, yeah.
Damn.
I mean, they have a lot of pedigree. And here's the cool thing though. They've been around for about 30 years or so.
Hmm.
And Atomfall actually ended up being their most successful game in the entirety of their existence.
That's crazy.
Like
It's so cool to see a studio stick
reception,
around.
sales, everything. Atomfall ended up being the most successful game ever. And here, this blows my mind too, because how? Sniper Elite is so popular. Alien versus Predator was extremely popular when those games came out. How
Hmm.
did it end up being such a financial success when I swear to you, nobody even talked about Atomfall? Like,
Yeah,
Rebellion did a lot of dev diaries, like lead up stuff, interviews. Of course,
I
IGN
loved
covered
that.
it.
It was
Yeah,
so
it's
cool to see how much
awesome.
they gave it so much
Yes.
attention.
I remember somebody was like pushing it off as I commented one time and I was like, I love the transparency. I love how they're like going through and explaining exactly what kind of game this is. Now, of course,
Hmm.
there's plenty of people who are going to play Atomfall and never see these things. But at least they're out there if somebody's willing to look for them. Because if you watch those, you would understand what you're buying. If you didn't already know from a trailer what you're buying, which they do a pretty damn good job of hinting at what it is that they're going to have you play. Um, And something like that would have been perfect with like when Prey first came out in 2017.
Totally.
Would have been perfect if they did this whole thing going, this is an immersive sim. This is what this is, because all the marketing made it look like it was a fast-paced Doom style FPS game.
Yeah, I had no idea because
Like,
I didn't look anything up like aside
yeah.
from what I saw. But so I was like, I mean, I love the game, Prey 2017, but like it was not what I expected.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, go off on another little tangent, but I've talked to a lot of different people. And now Prey is known, like Prey 2017 is known as one of the best immersive sims, one of the biggest like cult following immersive sim video games out there, potentially like Arcane's best game. It's known as all these things at this point. A well regarded game. But in 2017, when I picked up a physical copy from GameStop, I swear to you, I was pretty damn close to the only person that pre-ordered that game. At that time, there was probably less than 20 reviews on YouTube of that game.
Crazy.
There were, I mean, all the reviews and reception were like 7 to 8, I think. Might have been a 9. And there, of course, is the notorious like 3 or whatever that one guy gave it
Yeah.
because he got a game breaking bug in the game and then he contacted them. They provided him a new save file and got him the exact amount of progress he was at before, and he still gave it that. Which is, and in knowing that that's not even a bug that's in the game when it launched, and he was able to finish his video before the game launched, and even released his video before the game launched. And I'm like, I understand the transparency there. Like, please state that you ran into a game breaking bug. But in his review, he states not only did he run into that bug, he also states that he got his save file replaced. But because of his annoyance of having to do that, I guess, and his, critic status, he, of course, said, fuck Arcane. And dude, Rafael
Crazy.
Colantonio, who I've talked to on this channel and on Quad Damage,
Yeah.
is not a fan of that guy or his review to this
I
very day.
I know.
And it's great because it's like, what? He even had Jason Schreier on, because Rafael Colantonio actually has a podcast called the um uh House of the Dev, which is an amazing
Hmm.
podcast. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it
I
out.
had no idea.
So
I
many
love everything he's done. I'm
Yes,
a
so
super
many
fan.
heavy
Like,
hitters in this podcast. He's one of the hosts of the podcast. So many heavy
okay.
hitters. Definitely look up House of the Dev. And the woman who does the intro like video for Weird West actually does the intro audio for their podcast intro, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Weird West was so
Oh,
cool.
dude. That's another game that just doesn't get the credit it deserves.
I don't
And
think people know what
oh,
it because it looks like Fallout or
yeah.
something when you first see it.
Oh,
Like it's
it's so Fallout 1 and Wasteland inspired. And I mentioned that to him and he said, "Yeah. I mean, the overworld, like all
but
that
it
is so
plays so
Fallout."
much differently, you know? It's like
Yes. It play because it plays like an immersive sim, like
yeah.
it's like pseudo RPG immersive sim twin stick shooter. Like
It
and it
feels
is
so
immersive.
unique. It's like I can see all
Yeah.
the influences, but it's like, man, what a
Yeah.
cool game.
Oh yeah. And they have another game coming out probably in the
I
next
know,
year or
I'm so
so,
stoked.
which I'm excited for. Sci-fi apparently. Dude, but no, Weird West hit everything for me. It's like a weird western, it's supernatural, it's all these things. And you play these different characters and these different acts, right?
Mhm.
But you can go into a town and kill everyone. You can catch a chicken on fire, and the chicken can run into a hay bale, and then the hay bale can catch a house on fire, and that just it keeps going. You know what I mean? You can take a rope out of your inventory, throw it on the side of a building, climb the rope, break the glass on the top of the building, jump in the building, steal shit, and leave. You know what I mean? And nobody will ever know you were there. Or you can just blast everybody on the inside. Or you can like something I love doing was you can sneak in to like the gun shop and you can sneak around and steal the keys to the store, wait until nighttime, and then unlock the door, go in, and you can steal all of their inventory and then sell it back to them
Yes.
and then come back and steal it again. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. When you talk about like RPGs or immersive sims, that's the kind of stuff that you want. And also, it has multiple endings, and much like Prey and other things that Arcane makes, all about morality, humanity, and it's all like one big thought experiment. And have you
Totally.
finished Weird West?
No, I'm very
Oh,
close
okay.
to the end and I just never
It's
got
very
through it.
yeah, it's so good. There's so much. There's just such a cool game with such an amazing twist at the end. Like
Ah,
Prey is notorious for having a all right kind of ending. I get the Prey ending, and I'm very fond of that game. But Weird West has a great twist ending. Really
cool.
awesome. You definitely need to see that one to the end. But to kind of take things back, I was talking about Prey, right? And so back in 2017, it's hard to convince people or get people to understand unless you were there that Prey 2017 in 2017 was not regarded in the same way as it is now. It was a game that everybody was like, is this a shooter? Is this an RPG? What is this? You got to think that at this point in time, I mean, Arcane still wasn't well known, okay?
Yeah,
Like, Arcane's breakout hit was Dishonored. But unless you were
right.
like a gamer's gamer, you really didn't even know about Dishonored. Even though it was like their first thing that was really like a household name, it wasn't that much of a house. It wasn't Call of Duty, you know what I mean? And so Prey was just another thing by them that just didn't get a spot. I mean, I would say this that like Dishonored was the breakout hit, but it wasn't until um Deathloop that they really hit the mainstream. Like Deathloop was their second hit. That was the one that really pushed them to like, holy shit, I know who these guys are now. And I hate that it took that long but that is kind of how it was. And if it wasn't for Deathloop's success, they would not be making the Blade game, which is basically like a childhood fever dream game.
I know. I'm so hopeful for that one.
I think with Dinga and Co. and they basically have a blank check to do whatever they want with that based on every interview I've seen. And it's going to be a third person immersive sim based on Blade taking place in New
It
Orleans.
seems
And I'm like,
so cool.
oh, that's so much great right there. Like it's in New Orleans and it's Blade. New Orleans already itself is like so very vampire centric in just lore and mythos anyway.
Yeah, did you play the Alone in the Dark reboot?
I did not. I did not.
That's
That was
that's
one that
set
I
in the same
was in New
area.
Orleans. Yeah.
Mm,
Speaking of New Orleans though, that was another
love
game
that
that
game.
I played a little bit of last year before I ran out of my Game Pass and started playing other games. South of Midnight.
That's I saw that in your video. I didn't get to play that, and I've been watching it all like up until release and everything. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it looks so sick.
Yeah, it's so really cool. I mean, and from someone like from the South, it's cool to see it's cool to see a game that's like actually taking that that lore and that folklore and like sensibilities and all these different things from that area and putting them in the game in a positive light. Most of the time, I feel
Totally.
like the South is made fun of in most.
Totally,
Um,
yeah.
but South of Midnight like is such a love letter to Southern culture and history of all kinds, folklore and tales, and it's got a very old school like hack and slash kind of game feel to it, but also this like action adventure with just like a deep narrative that Compulsion's pretty well known for. Compulsion is another one of those game studios. It's kind of like Arcane, where like they make these really cool games that were fairly popular, but also just not very well known at the same time. Like We Happy Few, for instance, is like the really big one,
Right,
and
right.
that's such a like I still haven't finished that game, and it's such a weird game because they do so much when it comes to like drugs and addiction and how depression is just you know always overlooked, kind of like, oh, just take this pill, it'll make you feel better. And it's about a whole society that just basically forgot this really big, horrible thing that happened to this entire fictional city in England by taking happy pills. And, they're like starving, but they don't know they're starving because they're taking these magical happy pills. So they're like, they think they're eating cake and shit, but they're actually eating rats, and they're like eating garbage and trash, but they don't know it because when you take the pills, you just see rainbows and sunshine and happiness and daisies everywhere, and like, but then when you yourself aren't taking the happy pills and you're looking through, you don't have the rose tinted glasses on anymore. You're like, damn, it's just a bunch of depressed people walking the streets. The roses are dying, the streets are cracked and crumbling, and the whole thing is under this like almost military state regime of just
Okay, yeah.
control, and they got a curfew, and it's just all these things. And it's so fascinating. But it's put into a game it's sort of procedurally generated at times in the areas that you go to. And it comes across sometimes with a lot of sameness. It kind of has a similar issue like what Starfield has with its procedural
Okay.
generation, where there's a lot of areas that just look the same. But when you do
Yeah.
come across, because there are a lot of locations that aren't procedurally generated, and they usually involve quests or something like that, and all those things are great. But what you're going to see in between those locations is largely the same and full of nothing. So you're doing a lot of like running by foot to different points of interest. Um, so it makes it feel bloated. So where if they just like condensed it and made it just a fully like handcrafted world, it would have been better. But it's also just because it was like a game that struggled with direction at the beginning. It basically started as like a survival game, and then people said, "Oh, it really reminds of a BioShock." And then they're like, "Oh, well, I guess we should make a BioShock like." And then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna do that." And then it's just like it's like the what is it, feature creep basically, where they just kept like bringing things in and bringing things in, so you kind of get this like hodgepodge of ideas thrown into a game that has a really cool narrative, really good melee combat, cool like social stealth, which is a huge aspect of it.
Hmm.
But then it has these weird like procedural generation things and miscellaneous quests and like things that just really bloat the experience. And the running back and forth can get so just monotonous and playing. But they do have like these fast travel systems and everything. But it's kind of what's put me off from like finishing it is just it's a game I can't really play every day because it's just eventually gets a little just gets a little annoying of all the things you have to do in between getting to the main narrative stuff and getting to the meat of the experience because it's
Yeah.
just filled with bloat, which is another thing I think Starfield has going on because it's Starfield's a fun one, but it has a lot of bloat.
Totally. I Starfield was rewarding in a lot of ways for me, but also I was pretty bummed by like how much of it was so bland and like just like so repetitive, just nothing going on. And it's like, man,
Yeah,
like the good parts are really good. It's like it's
they
it's
are.
as good as any other good Bethesda
Oh
game
yeah,
in my opinion. But
I think
it's like they just overdid it. They could have
yeah,
really and that's the funny thing is like uh Adam Fall scratched a similar itch for me where
yeah.
it's like that it's almost like a Bethesda kind of RPG kind of game in some ways, but it's just so tight. I also another game I really liked that had a similar vibe was that I think just launched into its, official. It ended early access last year. Was Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon.
Yes, I played the demo for that. That was probably like the most Bethesda non-Bethesda thing I've ever played. Very
The
Morrowind
so
like, I would say.
Yeah, they've since the demo, like I've been following. I played like 5 different demos over the years of, like,
Yeah,
just different builds they had and stuff. The final build is and it's so rich. It's if
yeah,
anyone is like kind of like longing for one of those like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls styles RPGs with like just a little more grit and depth and like not as much I guess just means like everything in it feels handcrafted and it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
like down to every little detail. It's super like passion driven in a way that like some games just can't afford to be.
yeah. It reminds me if you took one of those, Euro jank, RPGs
Mhm.
like Risen and the Piranha Bytes stuff, Gothic, etc. But
Gothic, yeah,
yeah, but put it in like a more of a first person Bethesda structured sort of game.
totally.
And it really felt like that to me because you got that like passion of these like small team type thing, but it almost feels like the pedigree of something like just the fact of I don't know if this is like a solo dev or like a small team thing with that game, but
It's like a small team.
yeah, but we're getting to this point where we can see these games maybe like 3 people that feel like it could have been made by 400 people. I'm like,
I know.
what is this? And it's actually, we're bringing it back around. We're talking about bloat, right? Bloat and we have a few bloat and Starfield. Since you have played, did you beat Adamfall?
I got to like the final thing
Okay, okay.
and I stopped because I was like, oh, do I want to go back and do other stuff? And
So there's
so I
six
haven't seen the
endings to
final
the base
ending.
game.
I know, yes.
Yeah.
I
So
kind of got a little bit spoiled for me.
here's how much I love Adamfall. Okay. It's also another thing that goes with like it being an anti-bloat game. And it really is. Now, let me explain. So I started the year off, right? I started the year off and I actually got sick in December and I ended up having the flu and I decided to finally roll credits on the Outer Worlds.
Oh,
And I
cool.
played the Outer Worlds into early this year and or last year, whatever. 2025, we're in 2026. Gosh.
Right.
But I played it early into 2025 and I just decided to beat the whole game. I did everything. I put like 30 hours in it and I was like nearing the end and I was like, buy the DLC. I just bought the DLC and I just continued to binge the Outer Worlds. And I put another 10 hours per DLC. So all
Hmm?
together, which this is way more time than most people are going to put into this game. Because most people aren't doing like everything. But I pushed 50 hours at the end
Yeah,
of
same here. I
the Outer
I I
Worlds
felt like I
plus
had to
DLC.
100% that game.
Yeah. So yeah, so I did that, and then I went on. I got Game Pass. I was like, I'm not gonna buy any games for a little bit. I'm just gonna use Game Pass to play a bunch of stuff. And the main thing that spurred that on was the just like random announcement of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah,
I
same
gotta
here.
play
I signed up at
this.
the same time.
And Game Pass was still $15 at the time, not the 30 that it is now, and that's a whole nother discussion. But I'm like, okay, screw it. Like it's like half the price of what they're charging for the game, or maybe even less than half the price. I can't remember if they charged 30 or 40 or whatever for it. I grabbed that, and dude, I started playing it like crazy. I lived in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black for, you know what I mean? And I beat that, and holy crap, I loved it. That kind of spurred like this year playing stuff like Iron Meat and AVGN and Neon Inferno, just playing these more challenging old school games that I just really was drawn
Totally.
to all year long. But I played that, and holy crap, it's so good to play an old school hack and slash game again. So cool to play a game again that isn't a Souls like that kicks my ass and makes me get better at the game.
Yes.
Like it's
I
so refreshing to do this again.
I was really glad to see a couple games come out that were these like hardcore action games that weren't Souls like. I like some
Yeah,
Souls like games and stuff, but I'm also just like I like something a little more frenetic and like something where I'm like
yeah,
able just to go faster and I don't like counting frames and like
yeah, 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 yeah.
the I mean sometimes I do. but also I like the more action forward kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I wanted to get Ninja Gaiden 4, but then I was like, well, I also want to play Dying Light the Beast. I have limited funds. I want to play The Outer Worlds 2. There's some of these big games. Like, I'm going to focus on the really big ones, and I'll play Ninja Gaiden 4 later on. But Ninja Gaiden 4 is one that I really want to get to because, one of my all-time favorite hack and slash games is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is made by Platinum. And Ninja Gaiden 4 is literally Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance meets Ninja Gaiden in every possible way. That game is the spiritual successor to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance more than it is a Ninja Gaiden sequel. Like, and as soon as I saw the first trailer, and I was like, oh, so good. You know what I mean?
It looks great.
And there's things like
Did you
that just
play
don't come
Outer
out
Wilds
anymore.
2?
Huh?
Sorry. Did you play Outer Wilds 2?
The Outer Worlds too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. I did. It was my second game of the year contender
Oh,
on my list.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to that one yet.
Yeah.
I remember now. I skipped that part in the video because I was like, oh, I haven't played this yet. I'm gonna like wait.
Yeah, it was actually I tried to steer away from as many spoilers as possible in the entirety of the video. So you should be okay. I don't think I spoiled anything. But
That's good.
yeah, so I did play The Outer Worlds 2. And The Outer Worlds 2 was teetering pretty damn close to my game of the year after I played it. And so was Dying Light the Beast. Like my top 3 was Atomfall, The Outer Worlds 2, and Dying Light the Beast. All 3 of those were like the 3 best things that I played all year. I mean, they were the best games that I played all year. And The Outer Worlds 2 is freaking damn good. I mean, that's a game, like I'm close to 40 hours in it, and I'm only in the
Wow.
second area of the game. And I'm not even a quarter of the way through the main story in that area. Now, I know someone who played it around the same time I did. I took a bit of a break because I was like trying to make videos and I was getting all these games for free, so I took a break from it. I got to get back to it soon. So I haven't beat it yet, but it's a game that I can easily see by the time I end it will be like 80 hours. Easy.
That's sick.
Because it's such a deep game. All the areas are so much bigger, and like from what I'm seeing, there's at least like 6 or 7 different locations in the game compared to the original. The amount of depth and complexity within not only your choices, but the way you can build your character is stupid. And the traits and the negative traits and all that stuff and the way they affect things, everything has so much more of an effect. And every single perk, skill, trait, whatever you pick, your background, everything that you say sometimes to characters that you don't think matter, always ends up coming up in conversation. It's something that I thought one of the few things that Avowed did right, because I played a little bit of Avowed earlier in the year before
I was gonna
Atomfall
ask you
came
about
out.
that.
Yeah, I played Avowed before Atomfall came out, and I actually made a video defending Avowed. Like I never did finish it, but I thought Avowed did exploration great, and I thought that it
Mm-hmm.
did conversations and questing great. I think that
Mm-hmm.
it had the most boring, empty cities and towns. You couldn't kill any of the characters. They didn't move. They had no anything going on. The Outer Worlds 2 has some of that issue where some characters stay stationary and some move, but there's still more variety than there was in Avowed with that. And all the cities and towns usually you can just walk into, and they're so much smaller. Like Avowed, the first city you go to is like the size of a map itself, and there's nothing in it. Like, okay, this is when you're gonna have this limitation on what you're doing, don't make it this freaking big.
Yeah.
And they, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
And but also in the Outer Worlds 2, much like the first game or something like Fallout New Vegas, you can kill every single human being in that entire game and still beat the game. Okay?
That's awesome.
Just like Atomfall or Prey, you can kill everybody. So at least it feels alive in that sense. And everything you do in the Outer Worlds 2 has an effect on something. And I mean, there's things like from the tutorial that I found had an effect 40 hours in.
That's so sick. I thought the first one was like one of the better games I've like ever
Oh,
played. It
yeah.
was just like
I agree.
just super tight. It just not a lot of wasted space,
Yeah.
you know?
The Outer Worlds was kind of like a Weird West in a sense. It was like this kind of more
Mhm.
refined and kind of you could tell that there was limitations and budgetary issues and whatever, but you could tell that there were heavy hitters and passion and all this love behind the project. It may have only had 4 different colored armor that looked pretty much the same, but it was such a deep game with a lot of choice and consequence and things you could do that really felt like you were making an impact of something.
Yeah,
And
I was
that's
into all the companions and stuff. Like I
yeah,
did all their quests and
oh yeah. That's another thing.
super
Like
cool.
when I go and talk about, I was talking about the Outer Worlds and how I think the Outer Worlds is a better game than like Fallout 4. I think Obsidian makes better video games than Bethesda, and I love Bethesda games.
Yeah, I they do a different thing for me. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like I I like Fallout 4. I can play and I have fun just like walking around and looting stuff and finding items and like
Yes.
just exploring.
Yeah.
But that's not why I play like an
Yeah.
RPG necessarily.
And I can't talk crap about Fallout 4. I mean, when I first played that game back in 2015 when it came out, I ended up clocking in over 200 hours before I rolled credits. So trust me, I like the game. It's just, I
Yeah,
feel like a
I
lot of
same.
people somehow have this weird nostalgia fog when it comes to Bethesda. And it's like every new game, they complain about something that Bethesda's been doing for 10 plus years or 20 years. And I mean this. And Starfield's a perfect example. So I actually have a video that's been in the works for close to 2 years that really nothing's really been done on other than like scripting and all these things. But it's because it's such a giant scope video. Basically, I'm going to be writing a script for every single Bethesda video game since the first
Okay.
Elder Scrolls on. All as a way to make a gigantic argument as to why Starfield is still very much so and will always be a very, very Bethesda video game. Whether you like it or not, it's the most Bethesda video game Bethesda's ever made. And it's true. And then I'm going to use Obsidian, or like Obsidian as another example, because I do believe that a lot of people get confused. I think people get confused because Obsidian made Fallout New Vegas. And Fallout New Vegas like clouds their brain and makes them think that Bethesda actually used to give a shit about immersion and like choices and consequence when they don't.
No,
Bethesda
they're very like
has never had that.
light RP. They're like super light
Very.
RP. They're breezy games, which are super easy to
Yeah.
play and get into, and like I
The
love them. But
most
like,
RPG that they've ever had is Morrowind and Oblivion in 2 kind of different ways. Oblivion has the most like natural feeling like progression and exploration and just a breadth of like questing and a lot of like natural feeling role playing mechanics and being a vampire and having to travel by night or stand in the shade and things that
yeah,
Skyrim makes feel less fun. And Skyrim is great for discovery. It's just it's like baby's first RPG. And that's just coming from
totally.
someone who's put thousands upon thousands of hours into that game as a high school kid, playing that, and a middle school kid even, playing that game
I I didn't play it till I was like
religiously.
almost 30. I played it for the first time. I was like, I
Dude,
love it. It's
I have a flash drive with over 1,000 hours of characters on it. Okay, like still to this day, I have a flash drive that has different characters on it, and so I get the appeal of Skyrim, and I get why people are like, "This is like one of the best games ever made." I understand that. I get it. You know why? Because it's so simple, it's so
yeah,
easy, it's straightforward. You just explore, fight things that can barely fight back, and that's what it is. There's no challenge unless you force the challenge to be there. There's no choice and
right.
consequence. There is one quest in the entirety of that game that has a consequence, and that's whether you pick Imperials or Stormcloaks, and that is it. Okay, there
Yeah,
is nothing in Oblivion where there's any choice that really affects the main narrative. There's no choices in side missions that affect anything in the world. Neither is there in Skyrim, really. And Morrowind has the most RPG elements of anything they ever made. It's the most ambitious thing that they ever made, really. And even that game, while it has a lot of role playing elements, and there's a lot of things of like, very beginning, there's like 3 ways to get to the same town, right? Which is very MSIMmy of its, of them to think about that. But once you get past that, that really falls apart and you get a lot less of that. Yeah, like the very beginning, you can ride one of the things to that town. You can walk there and get murdered by rats, or you can, whatever. There's other ways to get to the same town to progress the narrative, because it's still saying you have to go this way. And Morrowind's story still progresses in a very linear fashion, just like every Bethesda story. There's very specific people you have to talk to. There's very specific places you have to go, and if you don't go to those places, the narrative does not progress. Okay, but if you're playing Fallout New Vegas, right, your entire goal from the beginning of the game is to get to Vegas. There's 100,000 ways you could do that. And once you get there, there's 100 more thousand things you could do.
Totally.
I mean, there's so many different outcomes to everything. And guess what? No matter what you do, the game already has a way that it will continue going. Because, like, Yes Man is the failsafe. The
I
Outer
think it's hard
Worlds,
to,
your
like,
computer is the failsafe. There's a failsafe.
there's like, it's hard for some people, I've noticed, when I've, like, suggesting games like Wasteland 2 and 3, or like, games that have like a little more of that like RPG kind of choice
Yeah.
kind of thing going on, where it's like, oh, am I making the wrong choice? It's like, no, you just have to role play
Go play.
as the
Just
person
go
you
with
you
it.
made this
Yeah.
choice, and you just go. Like, the game will
Yeah.
compensate for that. And it's like, but everything you do, like, there are real consequences, and you
Yes.
do see, like, oh, maybe I did make a bad choice. The game's not over.
Right.
You made a choice where you don't like the outcome, but you just got to live with it.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, like, that's the one thing, like, like playing Skyrim, I was like, damn, I love it so much, but it did bug me out when I first played it. I was like, oh, I can, like, be a top ranking member of every faction at the same time.
Yep.
It doesn't make any
Which
sense.
I do
It's
give
cool, but
Morrowind credit where you can't do that. In Oblivion, you kinda can with every faction except for Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood. Whereas if you join
okay.
both of them, there is a point where those two quest lines kind of go together. But that's really just the same thing as the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. It's an entirely optional quest line of two factions where you choose one over the other. That's it. And it's not even a quest line you have to do. The Stormcloak Imperial thing is not relevant to the main narrative of Skyrim, but it's one of the biggest things in the entirety of the game, yet it has no actual outcome to the main narrative at all. You could beat
Yeah,
the entire main storyline without even touching that quest. Yet it should be
I
so
did.
pivotal. It should be pivotal to the entire progression of that game. It's one of those things that this should be a main mission. Or, whatever. But the whole point, and you'd be surprised like how open Bethesda was with Fallout 3. Like Fallout 3 like they stretched their legs hard with that game. There is so much more choice to be bad or good and kill people in that game or do things outside of what they would typically have in their games, but it still suffers from the you can't kill the main characters. It does. You can't kill any of the main characters. And so with Morrowind, this is like one of the best ways to prove how Bethesda's never had this in their game design. They've never thought outside the box, and they've never respected the player to be able to find their own way. In Morrowind, if you kill, you can actually kill anybody in the game. If you kill a main character, the game just stops progressing. You can just go explore and do side missions, but you quite literally cannot finish the main story. It doesn't progress because you killed that character. There's no way to progress it, which means I wonder why in Oblivion onward they decided to make every main character unkillable, because they don't design their narratives around like free-flowing progression. You go play Fallout New Vegas, like I said, it's all about getting this shrimp. How you get there is up to you. You start in Good Springs, and you got like 5 different directions you can go in. Some are harder than others. It's like playing Dark Souls. You can go in 3 different directions, but there's actually only one direction. The others are just like these are just,
yes.
they're just playing with you. You can't, there's no way in hell you're going that way. And, Prey does the same thing. It's like the very beginning, you can just kind of go wherever. It wants you to go check your office or it wants you to do this, but you
Right.
can fairly freely progress that game. Weird West is another one. You can just go off in whatever direction you want and do whatever you want, and you can stumble upon the main narrative in a lot of different ways.
I loved that game, especially just being like, I guess I'll just go check stuff
whatever.
out, and like you can get in over your head.
Mhm.
And then, like, but even if you realize, like, I'm not really ready for this, maybe I'll level up a little bit, or like do some more training, find some more weapons, like find a new strategy, and like you can like sometimes you can push through a
Yeah.
path that seems impossible in those games. I
Yeah. I
love
think
doing
people
that.
I think people give Bethesda just too much credit in their prowess to make RPGs that are actually about role playing and about giving you choice and consequence and doing the things that RPGs and immersive sims do. Because the Outer Worlds, for instance, is a great example of. I mean, I would tell anybody right now, I'd be like, I'd rather play the Outer Worlds than Skyrim. I'd rather play the Outer Worlds than just about anything that Bethesda's ever made. And I know a lot of people are like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, it's because, look, man, I can go from the very beginning of the Outer Worlds, I can instantly go to the Groundbreaker. Like, so I can go in, I can just kill the head of the first town you go to. I can steal the power supply. I can put it in our vehicle or in our ship, and I can fly straight to the Groundbreaker. I can go in there. I can turn in Phineas and get them to arrest him, right? And then I can join the bad guys, and I can go straight to Byzantium, and I can beat the game in like 5 hours. I can be the bad guy, and then guess what? I can be a complete moron and have zero intelligence, and then at the very end of the game, I can fly the entire the big ship with all the people in cryo into the sun. You can fly it into the sun in the game. You fly into the sun, and then it rolls credits. And you have to have zero intelligence to do that. And I was like,
I
that's
didn't know. That's
amazing.
awesome.
That is amazing. And so, Midnight Medium, he originally got put off of the Outer Worlds, and then he started playing it again. And he hit a point where you talk to Gladys, right?
Mhm.
And so the natural progression of the game is they want you to get the nav key from Gladys so you can go to Monarch. And you have to either buy it from her, which there's unlikely you're gonna have enough money, or you can get someone else to. You can like frame someone else and like get a key somewhere and something like that, and then. But the way the game wants you to do it is they want you to go to Roseway. The game wants you to travel to Roseway and do a bunch of main missions and side missions there, and then when you get all this evidence, you bring it back to Gladys and she pays you for it and gives you the key card.
Right.
Or you can just blow her brains out and take the key card, right? And that's what I had to like explain to him because he thought he needed to go and grind for like 20,000 bits to buy it. I was like, dude, you can just pull out your gun and shoot her. You can shoot everybody in that room because the way sure, it's unrealistic in some sense, but like the Groundbreaker's set up into these like areas that are like faction oriented, kind of like the Vegas Strip.
Right.
Or like Freeside is a better one, I guess. But it's kind of like if you kill her and her people in her little section, the other people aren't mad at you in Groundbreaker. Just her people are mad at you, and so you can kill her and no consequence for anything else on the Groundbreaker because it all happens in her area. Yeah, I mean you could just kill her though. Like you don't have to do any of that. I mean, there's a whole planet, little ice planet. The only thing that's actually on there is a reference to, what's his name from Futurama, the blonde dude. I forget his name.
Oh, yeah. I don't know his name, but I know what you mean.
But there's a reference to him, a character you can find, and then there's one companion quest and a few other things to find. You don't even have to go to that place. You don't even have to go to that planet at all if you don't
Man,
want to.
it's bringing all this back to me. That game is so good.
But that's the thing is there's just so much depth. Like you can take out the iconoclasts, or you can take out the other people. I forget the name of them, or you can get them to work together. And then the end of the game for some people feels kind of like anticlimactic. But the more people you have on your side by the end, the cooler it is. Like I had the
Totally, yeah.
iconoclasts and the other people, and like several factions like coming in at the final battle. It felt a lot like Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's one of those things where like you have to understand what you're playing to see the depth of it. And it always brings me back to like I've tried to get so many people to play Prey. A lot of people like pushed off from Prey because it's what is this? How do you even explain what you're playing? And at one point in time, like several years ago, I bought my dad. I've told this story. I probably even told you maybe at one point in the past, but I bought my dad Prey. And I was like, look, this is going to be so outside of anything that you've ever played in your life. I was like, it's sci-fi, it's a little horror, it's a first-person game, it's a lot of things you have played, but never like this. And he played it, and he hit a point where he was just shooting everything, right? kept running out of ammo. And then he's like, what do? I keep dying. I'm like, because you got to think outside the box. Like, the ammo is
Yeah.
not the only solution. I was like, everything you have is a tool. The guns aren't even guns. The guns are tools. Okay? I was like, if you have, I think it was like he was fighting like a Typhon and or it was a Phantom and a Technopath. And I was like,
Okay.
okay. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
do you have glue cannon ammo? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, do you have the stun gun? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I was like, so shoot. Like, and I was like, is the Technopath above, like, is there something below it, or is it in like a room? He's like, no, there's like an area below it. I was like, okay. I was like, shoot it with the stun gun and watch what happens. He shoots it and it falls and explodes and dies. Because you disable it and it just falls. It plummets, hits the ground, boom. The Phantom,
Right.
I was like, okay. I was like, shoot the Phantom with the glue and it's going to freeze it. Like, then go up and just beat it with the wrench and then finish it off with a shotgun blast. I was like, you got to think like tactically. You have to think tactically. And then even if none of that was an option, just stealth your way around. More than likely, there's a way that you can get around without even attacking the enemies, without them seeing you. And even if they see you, you can still oftentimes run away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many options that
You got to be
people.
in that mindset. You got to know,
You
like,
do. You
oh, the
do.
game will actually let me do
Yeah.
what makes sense. If I'm
Yeah.
like thinking about this very literally, like, what would I do in this
Mm-hmm.
situation?
Yeah.
It gives you, it gives you a
That's the
lot of
beauty of it,
tools to
dude.
go through.
Yeah. That's the beauty of, like, that game. And that's why I love it so much. Like, it's one of my favorite games of all time. The beauty of it is just, like, the possibilities.
Yeah.
I've played through the game like maybe 3 or 4 times. Each time I played through it, it's been like damn near 50 hours each time.
Totally.
And I think it was the second time I played through the game. The second time I played through, I what was it I didn't do? There was like a room that I didn't find that had like a looking glass thing above it. It was like a greenhouse and it like had
Mhm.
a looking glass depiction of Earth that I never saw because I just never looked up in that one room. And it's really cool because it's the only area in the whole game that has that visual. Um, or, I never turned on you can turn on the giant billboard outside. And when you fix it, if you go out in space and you go to the billboard and you fix the billboard, it says the escape pods aren't real. They're fake.
Wow.
They don't actually work, which provides a lot of context to some other stuff going on when other people got stuck in the escape pods and all these different things that you can like help free. And you're like, okay, well, if they don't actually work, then I just sent someone plummeting to Earth. Like, they're just gonna die.
Right.
They were never meant to actually leave the station. Basically, the only one that was meant to leave the station was your brother Alex's uh personal escape pod, which you can use to get an early ending to the game, which I
Right. Right.
kind of
Right.
think spoils the game, kind of. If you get that ending, it kind of spoils the game. Yet it
Yeah.
gives you the option to get that ending super early. Um,
It's so fun. The first time I played, I didn't use any of the alien abilities.
yeah,
And the second run, I was like, you get like the mimic abilities and stuff, and it's
yeah.
like an entirely different game.
Oh yeah, it's different completely. And like whether you go hacking or repair or whatever, you can do some
Ah,
crazy stuff, man. And you can like okay, just to like show like a lot of the stuff you can do. But I mean, you can straight up, you can actually take the glue cannon and make steps all
yeah,
the way to the arboretum
yeah.
and make it up there early. You can use the power to like levitate things, and you can turn on a turret, levitate the turret, and like get it to like go over enemies that are in cover and things like that. You can just do some crazy stuff. The recycler charge was one of my favorite things because you can use that on enemies, and it would just
Yes.
recycle them. And it was always something I really enjoyed. And it would like suck in like explosives, and they would just blow up. And it was always so
So
much fun.
good.
Yeah, there's just so many things great about that game. And so that actually brings me, so like the reason Adamfall, I gave Adamfall like okay, let me ask you first. What was your game? Like what would you say is your favorite game you played all year? That's a tough
It
one.
might be Atomfall. Even though I didn't actually finish it, I got like
Yeah.
right to the end. I was like,
So
I gotta
when you
go
say to
back
the end, that means you
and
are
do more
where?
stuff. I'm deep in the I'm forgetting what it's called. Like
The
I've
interchange.
yeah, like I've gotten all the. I can't really remember exactly what the place. What I can't remember exactly where I'm at with it. I feel like I'm like 2 or 3 like steps away from just the actual ending.
Okay. Yeah. So are you in the interchange?
I'm in the interchange and I've done a bunch of stuff and I'm also working with the female scientist.
Okay.
Um
Yeah. I
but
mean,
I
there's
it's been so long I can't remember exactly. I know I looked at where I'm at and I'm like I know if I do like one more thing I'm like pretty much done.
okay. So the reason I like decided, I mean, the Outer Worlds 2, like I said, was pretty damn close. So was Dying Light of the Beast for so many different. Um, but like I really said, you know what, Atomfall is my game of the year because when that game came out, it was already something I was looking forward to, and I already kind of knew what I was getting into because it had some. And I watched all those dev things, so it's like it had those Metro-ish Fallout vibes. It had the almost immersive sim-like qualities and all these different things. Even a little bit of Stalker in there and so on.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of like what makes Atomfall really cool is that it has like the really cool like weapon animations. You can like hold the reload button down and you can like check your ammo in real time. You hold the reload button. And I actually set the setting on where if I reload and there's still some bullets in the chamber, I will lose them. There's a
Oh,
setting for
sick.
that. Yeah. So I have to be very cautious with it. And there is a workaround. You can actually unequip the gun in your inventory out of your quick swap and then put it back and it'll be unloaded so that you can reload it without losing anything. If you really want to do that, there is a way to do that. But it's actually Atomfall is the first game since Prey 2017 to make me feel the same way that I did with Prey 2017 because of the amount of choice and consequence, because of the amount of immersive elements and reactive elements, and it's a game full of like mini open worlds and stuff. But it's a game full of like a lot of like mini open worlds, all very
Yeah.
explorable. But they also have this like Metroidvania quality where you unlock these like shortcuts into the other areas and stuff,
Yes.
and it's really cool. And then
It's
there's like 3 different ways you can get to the sewer system. There's like 4 different ways you can get to like the main little town. There's even a secret like waterfall entrance to get to the town. There's
yeah.
one that I found because I've played. If it tells you anything, I got all 6 endings to Atomfall. I got all 3 endings to its first DLC, The Wicked Isle, which is amazing. So once you beat the game, buy Wicked Isle, and also get Red Strain, which is the second expansion. I have not beat the Red Strain yet, but let me tell you, it's hard as shit. This is coming from someone who is playing on like the hardest difficulty with all the survival settings and everything, and I've played through the base game like 5 times. Not even joking.
Damn.
I've gotten every ending in the game. I think I was able to get 3 endings off the same save file in my first playthrough. And then I went and got the rest of them because I killed Sims, the head of the
Yeah.
military, the protocol in the city. But it glitched out, so I actually didn't have any consequences to killing him, and the whole town didn't actually know he was dead for the entire game. And so even at the end of the game, when you pick somebody or whatever, and like the other factions raid the town, the town didn't get raided, but everywhere else in the game was getting raided, but not the town. Like the whole town
That's
just had one giant bug around it, basically, which was just hilarious. Which worked out fine, but I did later on. I did every ending, so I sided with everybody. I did everything, and man, with the first DLC, the second DLC, every ending to the base game, and doing literally like everything, scouring every inch of that game, it answers so many questions and still leaves you with no answers at all. And I love it. I love it. Like,
I I
you
love
know
that kind of
nothing
thing.
by the end,
It's
basically.
like I think what I really liked about it, because like I'm not into survival stuff. I'm really bad at
Yeah.
that. So I played with a lot of that stuff turned down. I did play with the survival stuff for a while, and I was like, you know what? I'm not really. It's just
A lot
not
of
my
it's
type of game. So
simplified, but it's still cool.
yeah. So like when I turned it down and everything, but like it was like it had that same thing I like about Fallout 4 or
Yeah.
Skyrim, where it's like it really rewards exploration. But
Yeah.
like in Skyrim or something, it's like I'm exploring, but I'm not really. I'm just kind of like finding some loot.
Yeah.
It's not really. Whereas like in this game, like exploring, it's also as much as it is like a shooter, an immersive sim, an RPG. It's also like a detective game.
Oh, yes.
And like I love
Another good
mysteries. I
element.
love detective stuff, and it's like man, like finding new evidence
Mhm.
and finding new like clues and context and like literally putting the mystery together in the game, but also like thinking about all like the bigger mystery like in my head. It's like
Yep.
it's so satisfying on so many levels. And
Oh, yeah.
I just haven't played a lot of game. The last game that actually did that for me was Wasteland 3.
Yes. Yes. Wasteland 3 is so
That,
good. That's an
such a
underrated
good game.
RPG right there. That's like a top 10 RPG, and nobody talks about it.
Yeah. I but yeah, so and the fact that I could like make significant progress pretty quickly in Adamfall, where it
Yeah.
was like it's a short game, and I
Yeah.
appreciate like a smaller scope thing if it's just like if it's just there's no filler.
Yeah. And, doing everything that I could possibly do in one playthrough, I ended up pushing into 21 hours.
Mhm.
And I actually bought my dad the game day one because of his now love of Prey, a game he has now played multiple times. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get him Adamfall. I feel like he's going to fall in love with this game. He freaking loved it. And it wasn't long
That's
after I
awesome.
actually bought him Fallout New Vegas that he played for the first time. And I think between Prey, Adamfall, and Fallout New Vegas, it might be like some of his new like favorite games of all time. He lived in Fallout New Vegas for a while.
It's easy to
he,
do.
he played the crap out of that game. But no, like I mentioned in my Game of the Year video, that Adamfall is one of those games that make you want to pull out like a pen and paper and start writing things down and just to remember
Yeah,
them and just like
I got a bunch of
jotting it
notes.
down. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
totally.
And I think that a lot of video games, and I hope games take like inspiration going forward. I hope that they do because the lead system is one of the best implementations of natural progression in a video game that I've seen in a very, very long time. No map marker things really. I mean, there's a couple of things that they do jot down on your map that you unlock, like certain little areas that they'll put, but there's no like you're 500 meters away. You know what I mean? There's not a diamond. You know what I mean? There's nothing
Yeah.
nothing like that. You have to keep looking at your map if you want to know if you're going in the right direction all the time. You know what I mean? There's nothing that's like telling you where everything is. And I think there's a little compass kind of thing by default. But I actually turned that off as well
Yeah,
to
no,
make
it's a
it even
game where
more
like
natural.
where that like navigation felt super it just felt
Yeah.
like just great to sometimes I'd be like, "Oh, I'm going a little bit off path," but like it was
There
worth
is
it,
no
you know?
path. Yeah.
True.
It's like and that's what's great about it because like some of the best video games out there, like things like The Witcher 3 or Red Dead 2 or even Prey, like these games are not the same game if you don't do all the side stuff. Like the side stuff in these games like make the main narrative better. And in Adamfall, it's like, okay, yeah, you're right. So we're just gonna make the whole game the main story. No matter what you do in the game, it is the narrative because there is no main
Yeah.
narrative. Yeah, there's 6
Yes.
endings. There's multiple factions.
Yes.
There's like 3 big like semi like these open worlds that you go to, and at the beginning of the game when you have your Fallout vault door moment and you walk out into the big open world and you can see all this stuff, you can go in like literally 3 different directions and lead in so many different places. There's different caves and
So
systems
good.
and places that lead into places and things that you'll find now that you won't even know will affect something later or something you'll find later and blah blah. And everything you find is like just it's adding to this larger narrative. It's oh that's that so that explains this thing and this thing explains that thing and well this is what they were doing and they were testing this and that. Um and it really the progression of like the leveling system
Hmm.
basically was is prey. Like it's
Yeah.
prey. You find these things that you can use to get skill points and you upgrade yourself. And did you meet Dr. Holder?
I don't remember any character names right now.
Let's just say he looks extremely unique. He
Okay, yes,
looks
I that's
unlike
what I'm
anyone
thinking.
else.
Yeah,
He may or may not be in a church.
right. I do know.
Yeah.
I do
Okay.
believe I know who you mean. Yeah.
Okay. So when you talk to him, did you pick up on anything about what the stimulants that you take to upgrade yourself are?
Yes, I'm not remembering this. I feel like it was so long ago that I played this now. Like a lot of the details are escaping me.
Yeah.
But I remember being in that set because he's got the glowing
Yeah. Yeah.
eyes and the
Yeah.
yes. I'm having like a vague recollection of like the horror of like realizing what these experiments were doing and stuff. And with the because isn't he like beneath the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
whole catacomb system that's down there and
Yes.
everything.
Oh, that's
Because they
so
just needed
cool.
more depth, you know what I mean, to that
Right.
game already. Because there's a whole cellar system in the bar that leads outside into a whole nother thing.
Yes, that was
There's a
so much fun
whole
to explore. There's
resistance
like these
building
mini
there.
dungeons everywhere.
Yes. They all just like intertwined into each other. And yeah, so the stimulants are, you're basically infecting yourself like every time you take
Yes,
one. Which made
yes.
me think is like, is there any kind of like, what if I play through the game without doing that? What does that affect?
Yes.
Because I mean, obviously, other than hindering yourself, much like Prey or something, you're not having all these things, which is just a fun challenge within itself. What does it mean? Because there's several different endings that hint at so many different things. There's a lot of so many just like pieces of information. People like optional people you can find, help or not help, depending on if you did this thing or that thing. There's like different places you can find these people. There's a person you can meet who has a broken radio, and you're supposed to wait. You're supposed to get them something, and then they're supposed to fix the radio, and they're supposed to tell you when they fix it. And when you go back to this person, they've left, and they left you a note, and there's different ways that it can play out. I actually made a video on Atom Fall, and I kind of hinted at it. There's different ways it can play out, but there's a note you can find about something being buried. That's a lot of information from people who were spies broke into the Windscale plant. And if you find this thing that you don't know the location of, you just have to like happen to find it by chance off in a corner somewhere, which I did because I literally scoured every single part of the map.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll actually give you a lot of information on the stems and stuff for you being holder and a lot of other things that are going. It's very, very, very interesting. And I think, you know, once you get to the DLC, it just gets crazy. There's so much more like
That's very good to
information
know.
and additive stuff that is added in the DLC that it's just crazy. And here's another thing. I don't know if you're picking up on this, but this game is extremely Lovecraftian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like the whole base game is very like color out of space along with other things. The first DLC is very like Shadow over Innsmouth.
Okay.
Um, the second DLC I've played a good bit, but I can't really tell you exactly. I don't really 100% know what it all is inspired by. I just know it's hard as shit. Like it's just
I gotta go back
so much more
into it.
difficult.
I was playing it through Game Pass too. I gotta actually purchase it.
Yeah,
Man, also just like when you first step out in the world and how lush and green it
yep,
is and stuff, it was like so refreshing to see a game
yeah.
embrace color in that
Oh
kind of way.
man, it's like the most colorful game of the year. It should get an award for that. Like it's
Yeah.
just vibrant and it looks
Crazy
good.
good game. super inspiring in so many ways. Where it was
Oh
like,
yeah.
man, like you made like a like an exploration game, a mystery game, a survival game, an RPG. This like the conversations, like
Hmm.
everything is like really working together.
And
It just
oh, the
felt like
barter
so many good
system, dude.
RPGs.
The barter
Yeah.
system. I
Yes.
love it. It's like a
So
legit
good.
barter system.
It really
Things of
works.
value for other things of value. You know, sometimes you got to trade your whole inventory just to get a cool gun, or like,
I
dang it, I
know.
need a little bit of ammo. I have to give them all my healing items or something. You know, like, and there's different people who actually like different things, so they'll actually give you a higher
Yeah.
value for things that they want, or you know, you can just shoot them and take all their
Yeah.
shit.
There's so much depth. It really works so well.
Like, you can just shoot them and take their shit if you want. Like, that's fine. You can do that. You can just pull your pistol out, boom, one shot to the head, and it's over. That's all it takes. But you
It's
can just
your
do that.
choice.
And if you aim a pistol at somebody, they have a reaction to you. If you hold the pistol at them for too long, they will attack you.
Yeah.
That's another thing that games just don't do. Like, there's so many, and
I
here's, you know
know.
what? For all the complexities and depth that the Outer Worlds 2 has and how good of a game that is, I can just point a gun at somebody anywhere I want in any town. They do say stuff though. They're like, "Please get that gun out of my face" or something like that. So at least they do have a reaction, but they're not gonna like, "Okay, this man's pointing a gun at me. Now I'm gonna shoot them in the face." No. In the Atomfall, if you're in the middle of the town or you're anywhere and you point a gun at somebody, like the protocol's like, put that down or put that away or something. And if you don't, then they're gonna go to arms very quickly. Like, which is how it should be. And
Yeah.
man, it's just, yeah, Atom Falls is a special game. When I started playing that, I actually, so like I got all the endings and all this stuff, and like I probably played that game like as much as I could for like 3 months. I'm not even joking.
Understandable.
Like, if you ask my
Super cool
fiance,
game.
I just did nothing but play Atom Fall for a long time. Like for the longest time at the beginning of the year, because it came out in March, so close to my birthday,
Okay, yeah.
and I just played it like crazy. Yeah, but I mean, it was like, it's my game of the year. It's a game that I'm gonna be playing over and over. It's a game that I'm gonna be being like, hey, you guys need to play this for a long time to come. And I think that it's eventually gonna get its prey moment. It's gonna have There's gonna be a moment where people finally figure out what Atomfall is. Here in a couple years, people are gonna be like, Atomfall's so damn good. How did we not play this? This is like one of the best games ever. It's gonna happen in a couple years, I think.
I think it has to. It's the game is so tight.
Yeah.
There's like it's the kind of game that I think will age well because there is so much richness to every element of it. There, and it's like it's built on that kind of like these kind of well-established formulas in terms of like
Yeah.
gameplay mechanics and the presentation. Like it's not like a game where it's like, oh, it's really cool, but it's like kind of awkward to play. It's like, no, the game is like
Yeah.
super smooth.
Hmm.
It plays how you would expect, but it just has way more depth than
Yep.
most games of that style
Oh,
are
the
willing to explore.
gunplay, I mean, everything just feels really good. And
Yeah,
I'm huge on animations, and I just love the gun.
looks so cool.
Love them. They look so good. Yeah, no, it's such a good game. I can't tell people enough about it. Like, I've just been, hey, you guys really need to play Atomfall. It's so freaking good. Like, just play Atomfall. Come on, you know. But yeah. I mean, seriously, 2025 was a good year, and I think Atomfall got a little shit on. I think that should have got an award. It should have been Game of the Year.
It should have
I
done
didn't
more.
play
Yeah,
Exhibition 33. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, that was really good too. Also, I didn't get to play the full game, but the Hell Is Us demo I played seems
oh,
like
it looks
that.
so good.
It seems like if I played through that, it would have been a game of the year contender for me.
I watched Co Carnage play some Hell Is Us, and it looked really good. It's kind of like Souls-ish, but different. It's not quite 100% Souls-ish, but it seems
Right.
Souls-ish in the same way that like Jedi Survivor or Darksiders 3 are Souls-ish. You know what I mean? They're like Souls
Yeah,
inspired,
it's
but not
around
like
there, but
as
it's not as
punishing.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
but
not
it has
as
the same
punishing.
kind of like the depth in the world and the detective stuff and the mystery solving is like super
Hmm.
present there as well. So I know that like
Yeah.
when I get into that game, I'm gonna lose a couple months to it for sure.
Oh yeah. There's a few other games I mentioned in my like top, like game of the year kind of video, like Desecrators. Have you heard of that one?
That was one that was new to me.
6 Degrees of Freedom, Descent style game. I've seen some people call it a roguelike, but it don't really feel roguelike to me based on what I've played. Because you're like going level to level, and you're like a space pirate or whatever, and you're going and trying to get gold and other things from the ships that you're going through. And I think the levels are procedurally generated or something to some degree, and they like change difficulty. But I haven't died, so I don't know
Right. Okay.
what happens. So I've played like maybe 3 levels or something, and I don't know what happens when I die exactly. But I don't know how much of it is roguelike because we throw around these names so much. I don't know like if it just has
Right.
like
Like
very
weird
light
line.
elements, or is it like actually a roguelite, or is it just roguelite-ish? You know what I mean? It's like a game plays like Dark Souls doesn't necessarily make it a Dark Souls.
Word.
But that was pretty cool. There's Sword of the Sea that I had on there, which is like, from Giant Squid. It's another Journey, Abzu, the Pathless kind of like art game. You know what I mean? That's the best way to put
Yeah.
it. It's an art game. It's a game that's just like heavily inspired by different cultures and folklore and mythology, and it's just usually an experience about bringing life back to the world. It's just like a positive vibe kind of game. And I really like that.
Yeah. I didn't play that one, but I was watching it for a while. It looks very cool.
Yeah, and then there was a Keeper that I mentioned in that video as well from Double Fine. You play
Yes.
as the lighthouse with legs, which I've played. I've played
Yes.
a few
That was
hours of.
very
That was
cool.
when I got for Christmas, and it's pretty fun so far. I'm not sure what all you're gonna be able to do. It seems like it's a very puzzle heavy game. I'm not sure what all is gonna be going on there. Of course, there's Little Nightmares 3, which I haven't finished yet. Was
I enjoyed
actually
the demo.
originally a Game of the Year contender for me, but Cosmic Invasion kind of pushed it to the side because that game was so good.
So much fun. Like I really enjoyed that kind of like resurgence of those that old school style like
Oh yeah,
brawler kind of game.
yeah. I played the Power Rangers game last year. Freaking loved it.
Super good as well. I love
So
that
good.
game.
The intro cinematic made me want an animated Power Rangers so bad.
I know what you mean.
Like
It was
so good. And
very
the
cool.
soundtrack of that whole game, like it didn't have the combo complexity of like Cosmic Invasion or Shredder's Revenge by any means, but I think overall with like its light gun elements and just like the all the stuff in the music, I think overall it was a really solid game.
Totally.
That was a good one.
A couple others I'm thinking of off the top of my head. I'm just as we're talking, I'm like remembering more games. Like, oh yeah, I did play a lot more stuff. For like 2 weeks, I played a ton of Blueprints. Did you play that at all?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't play it. I've heard a lot about it. A roguelike mystery kind of game,
Yeah.
detective-ish
It's
game.
it's so like you inherit a mansion, and every day you can go into the mansion. And it's a whole estate, really. There's a whole grounds around the mansion, but most of the game takes place in this mansion.
Yeah.
And you can take a certain number of steps. So every time you enter a room, you use a step. And
Okay. So it's
so
like
you and
like an old school dungeon crawler sort.
exactly. But like as you go through, it's also like a classic point and click adventure, like puzzle game, like Myst or something.
Okay.
And but the blueprint of the mansion changes every time.
Yeah.
And so every time you go to enter a new door, you kind of roll to see like what the next room will be.
Okay.
And so it's like there is like a linear mystery to be solved, and there's a couple like things you can unlock. So it's like, okay, this room will always be here, or this thing will always be here. But it's one of the most complex puzzle games
Hmm.
I've ever played. I couldn't believe like how deep, because when I first started playing, I was like, I think I might be too stupid for this. But like I kind of like I got through a couple things and started getting better, but like it took a lot of effort to get through. And it's
Yeah.
like crazy game. And the other one I really enjoyed, similar title, but the Rogue Prince of Persia
Yeah.
was like
Yeah. That looks good
from the
too.
Dead Cells folks.
I've definitely mentioned before in the past of like I have a love hate relationship with roguelikes. Definitely the last time we talked, that was a topic. And don't get
This
me
one
wrong,
does it for me.
it looks good though. It does look good. Is it full release now? It's not no longer early access.
I don't remember. They've done so many huge updates. I haven't kept up on like, are they done updating? I don't
Yeah.
because I don't think they're going to be done for years.
Okay.
Um,
But
I'm
you
not
know,
sure how much they have in it right now because
I did
I
get.
cleared everything at one point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw like they were. It's been out for a couple years, and they've been like adding to it something.
Okay, yeah. It is like at like the full 1.0 is yeah, it came
Okay.
out in August.
Okay.
But they've kept updating it since then. There's like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
if you like Dead Cells, it's like Dead Cells.
Okay. So I actually got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown for Christmas, and I've
Very
dabbled in
tight.
it a bit here and there, and it completely threw me off because I was like, wait, when did this game come out exactly? And it was the beginning of of 2024.
Yeah.
I was like, it must have been like originally supposed to come out in 2023 and got delayed into 2024 because I swear I remember it. Like I thought it came out in 2023.
They had
Um,
like a big demo that year too. That
yeah, so it
got a
might
lot
have
of
been
press.
just I played the demo in 2023 and then it came out because I think it literally came out in January of 20, which is why it ended up like that, I guess. But I've been kind of dabbling in that and I'm really enjoying it. I don't play a lot of Metroidvanias, but that one's pretty good.
Just there's a lot of Metroidvanias where I start to play and then I go, "Oh god, I have no idea where I am anymore." Like I get lost in some of the bigger maps. Especially if I don't have time to like play the game regularly, I have to like put it down for a week. I come back and I'm just like way in over my head, uh
Yeah,
but that Prince of Persia I thought was pretty good. The roguelike or the Metroidvania one.
yeah.
Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown, dude. It is a lot of fun. I've been playing it. I haven't played a Metroidvania in quite some time, but it's fun. And it has a lot of like you. There's a lot of fast travel like statues you can find. The map layout is pretty good and keeping track of things. And they got that like picture system where you can create a memory to remember where like treasures or puzzles are, like things you need to
I
remember
love that kind of thing.
location of. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, you were talking about blueprints, and I kept getting the Seance of Blake Manor confused with blueprints.
That's also a very cool game.
That one looked really good. I saw, I knew about that one because of No Clip. No Clip did like a indie
Oh yeah,
spotlight
yeah.
video on it or something. Yeah, that one looked pretty cool. Did you play that one?
I played the demo, I think. I don't think I actually played the full game.
Okay.
I get like I go through periods where I'm like, "Oh yeah," and it looks just like
Yeah,
Blueprints.
a very similar style.
They're
Yeah.
like in a bundle together.
Oh, nice.
Um yeah, no, okay, yes. I didn't finish this game. I played the demo. It is it is very good. I mean, it's like it's sick, but like I like last year I probably played more demos than anything else cuz like I just don't have a lot of time to game right now. Like this past year I've just like it was like super busy year for me with a lot of other stuff and like just being able to like play something in like 30 45 minutes and get the whole experience,
Right.
super grateful for that. It's like I have like this huge list of demos where I'm like, damn, I got to play this full game, but
Yeah.
I got to pick and choose right now.
That's what I kind of enjoyed with a lot of the indies this year. Like I played Shotgun Cop Man, which is one that I talked about in my
Oh,
video.
yes, that's another one that I thought was so good.
Oh my goodness, man! Like I saw um, Dead Toast Entertainment made My Friend Pedro, and I played that several years ago when it came out. I mean,
Yes,
it was one of those games, it was very Hotline Miami kind of inspired, and I really like Hotline Miami, and I was like, oh, I want to play this, and it was so good.
love
And
it.
then they like announced Shotgun Cop Man with that like weird ass trailer that they did, and
Yeah.
they did like this like spoofy documentary like kind of thing that they did.
Yes.
That's not really a documentary; it's a mockumentary
It's
kind of
like
thing.
Devolver published that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
they
it's
always
like
do cool
it's
stuff.
like $10 on Steam, and I bought it on Switch actually. I played through it on there. I do want to buy it on Steam because Steam has the level editor thing, so you can actually make your own levels on
Oh, I didn't
Steam.
know that. I was playing
Yeah,
through it on my Steam Deck, but I don't think I knew about
yeah.
the
So
level editor
they
somehow.
added like the level editor thing, and you can play through and
Huh.
make your own levels and share them with other people, and they got a whole system for that.
I gotta dive into that.
And
That's
so I played
awesome.
through and beat that game, but dude, it just had such a cool. It's probably like the only precision platformer that I've really got into. Like I dabbled in Super Meat Boy years and years ago, um,
Yeah.
but I never really got into any of those what they call precision platformers. So it's like the
I've
first
tried,
one.
but I'm still I at the end is nigh. I also played a lot of, and
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck am I doing? This is
yeah.
so
I
hard.
think this one's like a really good jumping on point kind of one because like the
So
puzzles are fun. The like the propelling yourself with your gun. It's all it's so cool. It's just unique. The boss fights were super fun. Did you beat it?
I couldn't beat it.
Oh, really? Dude, I beat that game in like 3 days. I was like in
Yeah.
my bed on my Switch, just playing it at night, just all the time.
I was going back and forth. I was playing. Did you ever play Gunbrella? It's like it has a very similar kind of like navigation, like the like you know using your gun to propel yourself. Basically,
Okay, yeah. No, I haven't played that one.
it's it's also it's that is like more of a Metroidvania kind of game, but
Okay.
it's like it's I liked how the shotgun copy was a little more arcadey and like
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah. It was very
like round
simple
focused.
and just
Yeah.
every level starts with "fuck you, shotgun cut man," and then it just goes on, and I'm like, that's great, I love it. And the final boss is actually pretty challenging. I'm not gonna lie, like it was pretty challenging. I had to um, really get good to figure that one out, and it's one of those games I think that it rewards you. So I feel like most of the game is you can really get through it with the basic understanding of how it works. But it's
Hmm.
one of those games where you're really rewarded for mastering it
Yeah, I
because you
definitely
can
hit a
do
wall
some
at some
like
point.
crazy stuff once you really figure it out. But no, I love that one, and to make it even better, this $10 game to make it even better, he released a free DLC, a
Oh, I
My
didn't know
Friend
that.
Pedro free DLC, where
I don't know how I missed
Pedro,
that.
yeah, Pedro is with Shotgun Cop Man, and you get to ride skateboards and do a bunch of stuff that they added new features, and it's a whole campaign again,
I
like a
gotta go
whole.
back into that,
It's
man.
like a whole
Yeah,
nother
Pedro
like.
was so much fun.
It's like another 20 to 50 levels or something. Like
That's
a whole
crazy.
game basically. It's a whole game. It's basically a sequel to Shotgun Cop Man for free
Wow.
with Pedro, the banana. It's great. I'm like, this is awesome, man. This is freaking cool. Um, yeah, that was like a standout one. Like, it was definitely gonna be an honorable mention, so I had to put it on there. It was so fun. And then I played a lot of other indies like Gravelord and Captain Wayne, Wizardom, which is a really cool one. Captain Wayne's a cool one because it's literally like 3 hours long or something, and it's just a freaking banger. It's just a
Yeah.
damn good game. Um, yeah, there's a lot of cool ones. Or did you get around to playing No, I'm Not a Human?
Not very much. I've
Okay.
gotten a couple like a couple sessions in.
Yeah, they just so right when I sent you that code,
Yeah.
and right at that time they released a huge update, and they added like 5 more endings to the game that already has like 10 or 12 endings. And they added a bunch more characters you can meet, all these things. That was another indie that I actually got for free and reviewed. I was like, this is cool. Because I remember when the demo came out and I played the demo. And I
Yes,
think it was
same.
around that time I hooked up with Critical Reflex and hey, I wanna review this game, blah blah. And I ended up getting a lot of stuff from it. But No, I'm Not a Human was a cool one, man. Like it's like that Papers, Please kind of thing mixed with like a graphic novel kind of like choose your own adventure style game, kind of all wrapped into one, and it all really gelled with me. Just really cool.
Yeah, I
But
love
I'm
that
a
style,
sucker
that
for
like
a mystery, so
interrogation kind of thing,
yeah,
like the stunning like Papers, Please. I
yeah,
played so much of.
yeah. Which that actually brings me to I think I'm a fan of that genre now. Papers Please genre. We should
Yeah.
start calling them Papers Please lights. Um because they're starting to become a thing. Cause like I got what is it? That's Not My Neighbor on itch, which is now
Yeah.
on Steam actually. Um, which they had a whole thing where someone illegally put That's Not My Neighbor on Steam and was selling it for a
Us.
while. And then eventually they were able to get it back and figure that whole ordeal out. And now they're actually selling it normally through their company. But no, but That's Not My Neighbor is a really cool one. And the one I've been playing recently that I really like that I got for Christmas gifted to me was Death and Taxes.
Okay.
That
Yes,
one
I'm
is
aware
really
of that. I haven't
cool.
played it.
Yeah, it's really cool. You're playing as like a Grim Reaper, and you're choosing who dies and who lives, and it's like there's never a good option really. You get like you get like 6 papers with people, and it's like this person's got a family with 8 kids, and they work hard every day. The other one's like it's a firefighter, and they risk their life every day, and this thing and this thing, and then it's like you have your list, and it's like 2 people have to die today. They have to be in the tech industry, and then blah blah. And if you don't do that, then like your boss is like, "How dare you not listen to me?" But there's not really any consequence to like what you do or don't do necessarily, because you're just a Grim Reaper. It's like whether you follow the rules or not, it's just it'll upset the balance. There's a
Right.
whole balance there. Um, then you got like you have these conversations with people at this bar and everything. But it's really cool. It's just a cool sort of game. Um, there was another one that was Karimara and the Forlorn Limbs. Another one I covered on the channel. It's like it costs like $5. It's another Critical Reflex published title. Definitely go check that one out. It's got a cool mystery. It's got like probably 3 or 4 endings.
Okay, yes, I've had my eye on this
Yeah,
for a while. It looks really
yeah.
sick.
I mean, I don't think I spoil anything in my video if you want to check that out. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I Eclipsium too. Like I
yep,
think, I Threshold, Mouthwashing, Arctic Eggs.
yep.
I've liked every game that they've published. I know they've been in
Eclipsium was really
some hot
good
water
too.
recently.
They sent me that one, and that one's like it's like a simplified like Myst style game, but
Hmm.
it plays a lot with like perspective and some very abstract art stuff that I think is they do some really cool stuff with just the scenery things. Yeah, Karimara was a cool one. Like you get these, you're basically you're mute, and you get cards that are of items, and use those to like have conversations and unlock things. And it's a whole game about just figuring out the mystery of what's going on and how it's happening, and you got to like talk to this entity, and you have to like take these cards, and you basically are placing them in the right order to figure out
Hmm.
exactly what happened and how this entity died basically. And the developer said if the game does well, that they want to make basically either like sequel games or DLC games that are different stories that play like that, but they're all like
Cool.
individual stories, so like an episodic thing. But I think this one, I forget what it was inspired. What was it inspired by? I forget. It's like some kind of it's a like like Norway folklore or something like that. It's inspiration. I think that's what.
I could see that being the case.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But that was a cool one. Lipsium was cool. Trying to think of. There's just so many games that came out this year.
I
Still
know.
just
And,
sitting there
and the more
going
we
like,
talk, the more I'm like, oh yeah, I'm thinking of like a
yeah,
dozen
there's like
more.
games and games on top of games. There's just so many games. It was a crazy
Yeah.
year. I wasn't actually sure what to expect when the Game Awards were coming around. I'm like, what do I like? What do we? What's going to be nominated here? What's going to
Oh.
happen? Because there's so many games.
And I didn't even
Brutal.
get to play like Death Stranding 2 or anything yet.
Yeah,
Like there's a
me
bunch
neither.
of like I was like I would like to, but that's like a
Yeah.
huge commitment.
Brutal John 2 that I covered was a big one.
Yeah.
I really enjoy. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. It was really good. Um, and I told you like I got a code for Cryptmaster, and I started playing some of that. That was really
So
cool.
much fun.
That's
It's a
really
very
cool.
unique game.
Oh yeah. I've been really messing around with like what kind of phrases that I can say and stuff, and see the
Totally.
Cryptmaster's reaction.
Yeah.
Because apparently they went pretty like crazy with how many words and
It's
things that he
deep.
knows. Yeah. And I'm like, dang, this is just unique. And I really haven't played that many like old school dungeon RPGs like that, where you're like the
Yeah, me either. I played
grid based
like one or
RPGs.
two like of
Yeah,
the old ones, but
yeah. I haven't played a ton of them. I'm still like kind of confused at how the game functions half the time. I'm just kind of
I
like
know what you mean.
going around blind. I'm like, how does this game work? Like, But it's fun. You know, I made it to like a one of those statues or whatever of like the
Mhm.
other entity, and then it says like you can piss on it or something.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
was like,
desecrate
that's
it
great.
somehow.
That's great.
That
It
got
has
me
a
into like playing a lot of typing games last year.
yeah.
I basically like got like every typing game on Steam, like
Okay.
either the demo or I picked it up, and I've been working on like a long video on typing games.
Okay.
Um,
I always wanted to play
People are doing some
Typing of the
very,
Dead.
huh?
Typing of the Dead.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I always wanted to play that. I never played it.
Oh, there's also like they did Typing of the Dead Overkill as well.
Really?
It's like it's like Overkill, but it's
But typing, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's fun, and like there's like different like word packs. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
like dirty ones and stuff with like
Okay.
all just like lots of the same type of humor that's in the game already, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Overkill is crazy.
I love that game so much.
It's
It's
such a
super fucked up.
grindhouse like old school thing. It was such a good experience. I loved it, man. That was my
Yeah.
first time playing it. And I put it in the Wii U. I went and bought that gun thing, like the Wii gun thing, specifically to play that game. I've never had one prior, and I was like, God, I want a light game so bad on my Wii. Okay, I
Yeah.
love light gun games and those kind of games on rails stuff. So I went and got that, and I had a blast.
Yeah.
I
So much fun.
I have because I have an Oculus headset, and I have a couple of like VR light gun on rails kind of shooters on there, and just some of the most fun things to play in VR are those kind of games. Love them,
Totally. Yeah.
but that's just really cool. Just a crazy, crazy year. What do you think's one of the most I don't know, like underrated thing that you?
Well, I mean, not to go back to it again too much, but like I'm shocked by how few people I know played Fall that I know would love
Yeah.
Fall.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, and also the Drifter. I want to bring it up
Yeah.
again. Like it's one of the better like stories
Yeah.
I've seen in a game, and also some of the best voice acting. Like I don't usually
Yeah.
think too much about voice acting, but this game is
Yeah.
like it's fully voiced, and it's like a big narrative adventure kind of thing. You you're 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 a drifter.
Yeah.
You're like hopping a train, and you need to go back to town for your mother's funeral.
Yeah.
And as you go through, like you find yourself wrapped up in this kind of big conspiracy, and the story's like growing, and you're meeting all these crazy characters, and it's just like the performances are so good. It's crazy how much the game is selling me on the suspense and like the mystery and the thrill of it, when it's like it's kind of like cutesy like cartoon pixel art.
Yeah.
Like I in a way. It's like I didn't expect to get like so deeply wrapped up in it, but
Right.
the presentation, the sound design, it's one of the better. I mean, it's one of the better games I play in that genre, that old school point and click genre, and it's one of the first times where the game has like a really unique controller layout. So if you're not playing it on a keyboard and mouse,
Yeah.
some of those games feel kind of awkward on a gamepad,
Right.
because they are point and click
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this has a really unique controller based system that the developer made up, and I played the whole thing on my Steam Deck. I played it on PC as well, but I found myself preferring it on controller, which was rare for that kind of game.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first ones I've played that like, because that's like such an old school genre, like the point and click
Oh
games.
yeah.
It's one of the first like modern ones that I felt was like super. It felt super modern in a way
Yeah.
that like I feel like it could like. I feel like a lot of games going forward in the genre could learn a lot from its presentation and its control scheme and stuff for
Yeah.
people who are playing on Switch or playing on Steam Deck or whatever.
Do you ever play As Dusk Falls?
Yeah,
I loved that.
totally. Yeah.
I know a lot of people had their issues with it or whatever, but I really liked it. I actually played it, so like I played it with my fiance and my dad because he was over for dinner, and we ended up playing it. And we made it like halfway. You get to this next stage of the game, and then me and my fiance like finished the game. It was just a really good experience. I felt like really cool.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure.
And I liked that one of the guys from Heavy Rain was in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It was cool to see him again.
You're talking about like point and click adventure. Have you played Five Nights at Freddy's The Pit or Into the Pit?
No, I've never played any of those games. They look interesting, like the kind of like, the space management kind of thing, but
Yeah, so I'm not like super into like Five Nights at Freddy's or even like the original game. I think there's a charm to that like original title, and I think that but it's got so much crazy. But Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit released last year. No, not last year. Keep forgetting it's 2024 is when it came out, and I have yet to beat it. But it's like a good point and click adventure game.
hmm.
There's a lot
Yeah, I'm
of
looking it up
like
right now.
yeah, there's a lot of like hiding and stuff, but there's a lot of different areas you go. I mean, it just really reminded me of like those old school point and click adventures.
It
But
kind of
it's like
reminds me of like Clock Tower.
yeah, but it's like and it's very horror themed and you're doing all this
Huh.
stuff and it's really cool. I need to get back to it, but it's actually really good. And since I kind of like the lore and the world building, like atmosphere of those games more so than anything, and I feel like that really does a lot of that. And it's pretty
That's cool.
freaking intense running from animatronics in a point and click game. You're like, ah, they're gonna get me, and like you're like hiding in like closets or whatever, waiting for them to go away, and the lights are flickering. I didn't think it was possible to get like creeped out in a point and click, but apparently it is. I mean,
That's cool.
it's pretty intense. It's pretty fun, yeah. And you're like going into the past and then into the future, and like changing things in the past and the future, and all these things. It's really cool.
I just threw it on the wish list. I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, you like jump into like a time traveling ball pit or something. It's like it's kind of wild, but it's really cool. Yeah. So I think it's just about time to wrap everything up. This is the biggest
All right.
tangent video ever made on the planet of Earth, but it's okay. We've been all over the place.
We're catching
Been
up on a whole year.
I know a whole year of games, and it's been 2 years since there's been a gaming bounty board. It's been a while since we've chatted at all, on anything. So, man, it was good to catch up though. It was good to talk video games, and what a
Oh
freaking
yeah.
year! I think we covered just about everything. But yeah, and there's so much more. There's so much more on top of that. They like came out
Yeah, we could do 10 more of
2025.
these.
I don't think 2026 is. I don't know. It's gonna be tough for them to catch up. But 2026 has already got some like cool stuff like ready to come out. I mean, like Reanimal's coming out. Tarsiers next game. Got
That demo was sick.
yeah. Well, it was very good. And then you have Romeo's a Dead Man. Have you seen that by Suda51?
Super excited. I'm a
Looks
big,
so
big
good.
Suda51 fan.
I haven't played a lot of Suda51's games. Really, most of my experiences with Shadows of the Damned, which I do
Very
like.
cool game.
But Romeo's a Dead Man looks good. Looks really
Looks really good. I'm also
looks.
super stoked for the next Control game.
Yep. Oh yeah, Control 2 looks so good. And yeah, I mean, there's like several games ready to come out. There's one
Oh,
that's
the
like
next Resident Evil. I'm very stoked
yes.
for.
What was there was another game that I'm thinking of that comes out soon. It was the Toxic Commando like co-op FPS that comes out in March. I thought there's something else.
There's a million I'm thinking of.
There's like something else coming out
I
very
also think
soon.
BioCrisis 2 will finally launch fully this year.
That's supposed to come out fully this year.
I think so.
Oh, High on Life 2 comes out in February as well.
Oh, I thought that was out already. Wow.
No, they delayed it. It was supposed to come out in October or something. They delayed it to February. Yeah. It actually comes out on the 13th, which is the same day that Reanimal comes out. And then Romeo's a Dead Man comes out the 11th of February. Those all
Wow.
three
That's a
released in the
tight
same
week.
week, which is crazy. Like, what? All three of those the same week. And I'm hoping we get some more Darksiders news this
That'd be nice.
year. Yeah. And then Blood of the Dawn Walker's coming out this year, I think.
Ah, yes.
Those ex-Witcher devs. It looks really yeah, just so much already. I'm like, we're just gonna have
I
another
don't know if
crazy
it's
year.
scheduled for this year, but there's also the next game from In Exile, like the Wasteland devs. They have a
Oh
new
yeah,
game coming out. Clockwork. It's got a long
Clockwork
name, but
Revolution. Clockwork
yes.
Revolution. Yeah, that's the game's being made by In Exile and actually a secondary studio, which is comprised of ex Volition devs. It's called
That's
like
pretty cool.
Shadow Wolf something or Wolf something. I can't remember. But they basically created a studio, a lot of ex Volition devs after Volition went under. And then Microsoft bought them and they became the secondary studio involved with Clockwork Revolution helping in Exile. So
I hope that works out well then.
yeah, I mean it looks good. It looks more like a BioShock like kind of game, but
That's my first reaction, but I gotta wait and see what they
it
do.
kind of also looks like MSimi though at times, like more open kind of RPG. It's definitely going to be more RPG heavy for sure. But
Stoked for all that, and I'll be putting a demo out for my game in June.
Oh, okay, something to look forward to there. Demo in June. Okay,
demo
I'll be
in
looking forward
June.
to that. But it was good chatting. It was good getting caught up on 2025 and the crazy amount of video games, as well as everything we played, and just here we are, new year. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can get 1 to 2 episodes of Gaming Bounty Board a month going forward. I've already got the next one planned for near the end of this month. So looking forward to that. And in, about another couple weeks, you'll see another quad damage episode as well. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be checking my subscriptions.
Of course. And I'll be dropping a lot of videos and a lot of things. Look forward to Angry Video Game Nerd video, Iron Meat, Dying Light the Beast, and all these things. Which I completely forgot to tell you. Did I ever tell you that I got a code for Dying Light the Beast? Like I just completely skipped over that somehow. But yeah, I ended up getting a review code from their community manager about a month after it came out. And yeah, and that was freaking crazy because I'm like a huge Dead Island and Dying Light fan. And then I got that and I was like, what? This will never ever happen again.
I paused like any code requests or anything, but I am hoping to get a code for the Hellraiser game.
Oh, dude.
I signed up very early and I've been watching it closely.
It looks stupid good. When they released that first trailer, I was like,
crossed.
okay, this is already pushing so many boundaries. It looks good. Then they released that gameplay trailer, and I was like, what? It actually looks like a good first-person shooter survival horror game as well. Yeah.
They did a little mini interview with the dev team and stuff recently, and it looks like the team they get it, and they've been working with Clive Barker, and I'm fingers crossed. I hope that goes well because Clive Barker's been trying to get a good game out
for a long time.
For a long time. Undying, he's got some good stuff there, but it's all like a little compromised.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is like a full attack.
Well,
anyway,
here's to look into 2026, and of course, sometime in the future, I'm sure we'll be back on here talking again. Hopefully, it won't take 2 years. So
we'll see.
But yeah, he's looking at 2026 and all the crazy games, and I'm hoping that I get to play Romeo's a Dead Man. That I'm actually really looking forward to that. So that might be the next upcoming. Might be my first 2026 game that I play.
Sick.
But anyway, hey, it was good chatting with you. Until next time.
You too.
Hope you guys enjoyed. See you all next time on the Gaming Bounty Board. Adios.
Peace.